Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, bringing you the Tottenham fan phone-in show where we speak to you, the Tottenham fans out there, and get your views on all things Tottenham. The link is up in the community section. If anyone does want to come on and have their say, we actually don't have that much of a backlog this evening, so there's only 2 guests before you. So those who maybe don't like waiting in the queues, now is your chance to get into the back end now. But of course, we are joined by my man, co-host Jack from the flatcapeurotalk. Jack, how are you, my man?
Keeping quite well, Dave. Again, what a kind of easy kind of result that we had on the weekend. It kind of just felt like, you could think about other things maybe for a bit of time, but, apart from Spurs, you didn't have Spurs ruin the weekend. You kind of had Spurs make the weekend. So looking forward to seeing what some of the Harris Army has to say maybe on that. Looking forward to maybe, some of people's impressions on Kulusevski and Bentancur. Maybe some people have already been overly impressed, it seems like, by Bentancur's bit of skill there. It's great to see, considering he wasn't getting a lot of praise, when he first came in. Looking forward to what a lot of the Harris Army has to say tonight, Dave.
No, so am I. And look, I want to know, do people think Harry Kane is looking back to his best? I mean, you just look at his movement for that first goal, the way he strike the ball, he's looking confident, ball out of his feet. For me, he looks like he's back to his very best. And I'm absolutely delighted. I just quickly, I do hope everybody enjoyed the launch of the podcast today. That Tottenham Hour, it's over on We Are Tottenham TV. If anybody wants to check it out, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope anyone that viewed in that's in here tonight did, and hopefully you thought it went well. I really enjoyed it, and we're going to be doing that once a week. Usually every Wednesdays, but if there's a game day on a Wednesday, we'll be looking at doing it on the Monday. But we are going to be doing it once a week and really pushing it. So hopefully everybody did enjoy it. But look, let's see what Harris Army, Irish Hotspur Army, and Jack Army are in the building with us today. We have Moondog. He says, "Oh, happy days." Big up, Moondog. I hope you're keeping well, my man. We have Cody Mack. He says, "You know what to do. Smash a like as soon as you tune in. Come on, you Spurs." Big up, Cody, my man. Exactly. You tell him, brother. Chris says, "Big up, lads. Got a late finish at work, so we missed the fan show as a guest. I think I will be in the chat, though." No worries at all, Chris. Just don't get sacked, my man. Do not get sacked, but big yourself up. Old Soul says, "Big up team, #Team Kane. Come on, you Harris Army. Come on, you Spurs." He says, "Other clubs crying for world-class strikers. We have one in Kane. Kane always and forever," as the missus says. Exactly. Listen to the missus. She knows, Old Soul. What a woman. Big up, Old Soul. Spaghetti Slayer says, "We are still unbeaten at home in the Prem with Conte. Kane is back. Top 4 is on. Come on, you Harris Army. Come on, you Spurs." No, 100%. And look, the home ground is turning into a fortress, and it's going to be at the forefront of the success to come next season. I can feel it. And it's going to be at the forefront in the heart of us getting top 4 this year. We have to try and win every single home game. So big yourself up, Spaghetti Slayer. We have Dark Sun G. Big up, Dark Sun G. It's good to see you. If you're around, Dark Sun G, why don't you come on, my man? Come on and join us and have a chat. Jack, he says, "Come on, you Spurs. With Kane back to his best, Son and QE returning. And if Bentancur can keep on showing his class like the Brighton game, with Kulu adapting to work with Son and Kane, top 4 plus FA Cup will be ours." Do you share the same optimism as Darkson G? I love it.
I do share the same optimism, which is kind of why I released that video, on the second channel, Dave, kind of looking at, our squad depth with those signings of Bentancur and Kulusevski. I'll break down what they bring, Dark Sun G, but like you're saying, the return of Sonny and Romero does kind of feel like 2 signings in itself. It's perhaps, I mean, if you pick 4 or 5 of Spurs' best players in the entire 25-man squad, those are certainly 2 of them in that, top 5 of the most important players that we actually rely upon. So having them back is just really demonstrates maybe that Conte was actually getting a lot out of a squad that he actually didn't have, sometimes his best, fit squad for. He didn't have a Romero for it. He didn't have a Dyer for some of it. He didn't have a Sonny for some of it. You kind of come to think of it, you're kind of like, wow, Dark Sun G, Conte had a lot of kind of miracles to begin with the, squads that certainly weren't as dependable. Now with Kulusevski and Bentancur, you can only see the squad and the starting 11s improving massively, and at least also the bench options improving massively. The fact that we're taking off Harry Winks and putting on Rodrigo Bentancur it was a beautiful sight to behold, Dark Sun G. And also as well, hopefully Rodrigo Bentancur absolutely displaces potentially Harry Winks for maybe that kind of defensive midfielder role. It's nice to see maybe a bit of competition for Winks, Dark Sun G. I'm just loving it. I feel like, the return of these two signings, as well as the return of the injuries, it's only going to make our chances for top four even more increased, and that makes it a good window.
Yeah, no, 100%. I couldn't agree more. I'm really excited to see if Romero can reach them same levels against Southampton, and then again at Wolves, because if he does, I do think we're shooing for a top four if that's the case. Because look, I know we have the class up front, and if Bentancur can really hit the ground running, and I actually think he starts against Southampton, I think he showed more than enough to be able to start. Look, I remain positive, and it's positive times at Spurs, which is what we need. King Hoddle says Spurs are winning. King Kane is firing, and the Irish Hotspurs on in the background. What more could a man possibly want apart from Jennifer Lopez and Scarlett Johansson? Yeah, no, fair. That's fair. That is fair, King Hoddle. To be fair, yeah, J-Lo. I had a crush on her back in the day. I can tell you that. That's for sure. I really did. I loved her. But no, look, King Kane is back, and everybody, I will actually be over there for the Wolves game. So if anyone wants to meet up for a pint, please do let me know. I'd absolutely love it to meet Spurs fans for a few drinks. But King Hoddle, big yourself up. Dark Sun G says, let's beat Southampton 3-0 and Wolves 2-0 this week. I absolutely love it. Look, I think we beat Southampton easily. I don't think they travel well away from home. We always beat them at home anyway. And Wolves, again, I watched them against Norwich. They were poor in the FA Cup. Very, very poor. Don't really travel away from home very well either. So I think we should be expecting 6 points from these two games, Jack.
Yeah, I do expect 6 points from these. I would say Wolves. I don't know, that maybe it's more kind of the managers that I'm a bit worried about. I feel like we did see Hasenhüttl pull out, a bit of a kind of he's stifled a lot of big teams this season. Hasenhüttl has. He's had good performances against City, good performances against, I believe, Chelsea, as well as Spurs, as we saw, of course. And then Wolves, Wolves are kind of funny. They have a really good defense this season. In fact, one of the best defenses in the league this season. So that'll be interesting as well. But absolutely, Dave, I expect 6 points. We got to start expecting 6 points for matches like these if we're going to consider ourselves for top four.
Couldn't have said that better myself, Jack. Absolutely spot on. Elias is in the house. Hi, guys. Big up, everyone. Big yourself up, my man. We also have Lazy 8 in the building. Big up, lads. Looking forward to my second dose of the Harris and Kaniki today. Yeah, Jack doing the show at Darius earlier on. I heard it was a banger, Jack.
I really liked it. It was right under an hour. Like, I kind of tried to keep a lot of the live streams that I do everybody almost kind of podcast length, like kind of a bit like around an hour. Just broke down with Darius basically all of our league predictions for Europe's top 5 leagues earlier, everybody. Kind of just looked at our original predictions on what the top 6 would look like. Then are kind of now breaking it down, what maybe we got wrong and maybe what the rest of the season might look like in the future. But honestly, it's always a banger with Darius. Always a banger.
No, big up, Nick, my man. I hope you're keeping well. And I'm loving the dude thumbnail on it as well. You're an absolute legend. Dermot's in the building. He says, ladies and gentlemen, it's here. It's time for the main event of the evening. And with thousands watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble. Introducing live from Kildare, David, the Irish Hotspur Harris. And he says, ladies and gentlemen, live from Brooklyn, New York, home of the Mike Tyson and the mighty Statsman Jack, Statsman Kaniki. Come on, you Harris Army. Come on, you Flat Cap Army. Come on, you Spurs.
Big up, Dermot.
Big up, Dermot.
Way too kind. Way too kind. He does that every time as well. He does it every time as well. Way too kind.
No, he does. He's an absolute hero. Brad Matthews is in the building as well. Good evening, everyone. Big up, Brad. Mark Cousins is here. Big up, David and Jack. Is Alex on tonight for round 2? No, honestly, he's at home doing more homework, my man. Absolutely pulled his points apart last night. It was too easy. Because it's so easy. Alex knows. I told him. I just let him talk himself into a trap, and then I catch him out on it. It's too easy. Too easy, Mark. Derek Hutchinson says, big up, Dave and Jack. Let's stuff the Saints on Wednesday. Come on, you Spurs.
Love it, Derek.
No, look, right, Derek. It's time to turn the Saints into the sinners, man. Let's make them make mistakes, and let's go and absolutely batter them. Big up, Derek, my man. Dark Sun G says, I hope Burnley beats Man U and Wolves beat Gunners. Burnley Burnley could take something from United. You know, they're rough and ready, and will United like that? I'm not sure, you know.
Wout Weghorst, back for this one as well. Dark Sun G. Wout Weghorst maybe up and ready. He's probably snarling, probably foaming at the mouth maybe to get that, early Premier League goal for Burnley. I would say as well, like sometimes Dark Sun G, we take a Burnley for granted. Burnley got that nice result against the Scum. I believe as well that was like a result away from home for Burnley too. Like that was actually at Arsenal. I don't know, Dave. It was at the Etihad. Or at the Emirates, excuse me. And I don't know, Dave, like Burnley, sometimes we take for granted. They get good results against teams that we're competing with for us. So sometimes, Dave, I got to pat a Burnley on the back for the job they can do for a Spurs fan.
No, look, Burnley are boring to watch, but, I like their shithousery. I like the way they go about it sometimes. So, I definitely think they can rough United up for sure. But big up, Dark Sun G. Let me know if you agree, man. Neil G's in the building. Big up the Harris Army. Neil G, you have that badge beside your name, my man. Come on and have your say, brother. Zoe D is also in the building. Big up, legends. Come on, you Spurs. Big win, good momentum before the City game. Zoe, if you want to come on, the link is up in the community section. If you'd like to come on and have your say as well. Sam is Welsh Gal. That badge beside your name. Again, the link is up there. If you want to come on and have your say on all things Tottenham. Big up, lads. Come on, you Harris Army and the Flat Cap Army. And trust me, look, people, we do not bite. We just want to hear from Spurs fans, so make sure you get on and have your say. Adam Phillips is in the building everywhere we go. Daniel Field is in the house. Big up, my man. We also have Sazum. Hey, guys, David and Jackie and everyone. Big yourself up, my man.
Big up, legend.
Jelly and ice cream's in the house. What a great combo. I loved that as a dessert when I was a kid. He says, yes, lads, my man. Phil Letice is in the building, late joining, but Letice is in the house. AKA Mr. Hollywood. What a man. Big up, Letice. Moondog is in the house. He says, as long as Alex is not coming on, I'll stick around. Look, if Alex comes on, I'll tell him. If he does want to come on, I'll tell him to come on very last. Moondog, but do not worry, my man. Stick around for the foreseeable anyway. We've got Dermot and we've got Brad. And we have Chris as well. And potentially Sean maybe as well. So don't worry about that, Moondog. Pick yourself up, my man. James Watson is in the house. Big up, gents. Come on, you Spurs. Josh Smith is also here. Big up, everybody. We have George Hill. Big up to the both of you lads, finally able to tune into a live stream again. Been too long. Come on, you Harris Army. Come on, you Flat Cap Army. Yes, it has, George, and I miss seeing that old crest, that lovely old crest there popping up. It's good to have you back in, Georgie. Hope life has been treating you well, man. I really do. We have Room Attack. He says, hi, David and Jack. Absolutely love that name, Room Attack. What a man. That's a good name. Big yourself up, man. We have Cotlono Pena. He's loving Jack. Big up.
Good to see him, my man.
We also have Imad Hussein. You lot are back. Yes, boys. Looking forward to this one. The duo is back, my man. Big yourself up. Good to have you. John Stokes says, evening, David and Jack. It's going to be 3-1 Spurs Wednesday night. I'm loving the optimism, John. And I really appreciate you doing always retweeting and the stuff we put out on Twitter and that, my man. Really do appreciate it. What a man. Martin Richards says, Antonio Conte needs to be pushing the board in the summer for Basuma. The man is a class act. Look, in fairness, he had a great game against us. Just type in Basuma.
Class act on the pitch. Not a class act off the pitch. I'll tell you that.
Innocent until proven guilty, but we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens there.
But certainly on the pitch. Absolutely was their only threat, really. To be fair, if they didn't have Basuma, it could have been actually a whole lot more. Maybe we could have won by. So I do see where you're coming from. Good player.
Yeah, big up, my man. Ron Vignac is in the house. Kulu and Ben 10 should start more often. Yeah, no, look, definitely start Ben 10. Kulu, I think Lucas might retain his place. But I could be proven wrong. We'll wait and see. Andy Midge says, hope Kulu gets a start. Would love to see what he can do with a full 90. My only issue with his game the other day is that he looked a bit slow. Think he needs a bit more space, a bit more pace to play on the wing, to be honest with you. Yeah, no, look, I understand that. I can understand what you're saying. Look, the guy had half an hour. Let's give him a couple more games to settle in, Andy. But I agree with you. I can't wait. Maybe look, let's start him and see what he has to offer. I just don't know. Did he do enough in that half an hour for Conte to drop Lucas? I probably did create more chances than Lucas, to be fair. So
yeah, you did.
That probably actually remains to be seen.
Yeah. I think you're spot on there, Dave. Absolutely spot on. Maybe because, I don't know, I think he'll show his pace maybe at a certain stage, but at least the size of him and this hold-up play and his creativity showed that maybe he can play as that number 9 for us, maybe when need be, though.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Gabrielle 1 is in the house. He says, come on, you Spurs. We also had David in the building. Big up,
Legend.
David Jack, my man, David. I hope you're keeping well. We have Dazzy Jazzy. Don drives through N5. Nothing to see here. Drives through N17. So much to see here.
Love it.
Big up. You also have Eugene Thompson. He says, sell Kane and bring Lautaro and Berea for that money. Yeah, no, actually not sell Kane. I would bring Berea for sure. Lautaro, I mean, Kane's better than Lautaro. Let's be honest now, Eugene. Come on now, Eugene. But I love the optimism though. Brian C. Socrates, big up David and Jack and all the Harris Army. Big up Socrates, my
Absolute
man.
Legend.
F1 fan 6069 says, hi guys, big up, man. I hope you're keeping well. Dan Kaiser's here. He says, I'll be there for the Wolves game. Would be great to meet you, mate. Come on, you Harris Army. Well, Dan, I'll put up on Twitter wherever I land up before the game, and people are more than welcome to come down and have a pint. I'd love to meet you all. So if you do want to come down, let me know. Vikas Shukla says, love how you guys are always on. Always here, my man. Nearly try and do every single day of the week, bar Fridays. But we're always here, my man. Don't worry about that. And Dan, I believe you're on Twitter, so just message me on Twitter, my man, and I'll give you my number so we can contact each other. David Anderson, Weatherall says top 4 is on. That it is. The mighty top 4 is Daniel. On. Dave Tyson is in the house. Evening, lads. My man, Dave. We have Bobby K. Big up, lads. Come on, you Spurs. Boise 36 is here. We have Angus Walters. I saw something that Conte could be sacked for something he said. Yeah, let me know. Thomas Rustin says, evening, lads. Ain't it brilliant to enjoy winning? Waiting for Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. No, look, I'm just delighted we're winning, my man. That's all it is. Just absolutely delighted we're winning. And then we'll take this super chat, and then I suppose we'll get into it. Brian C. Socrates says, elite leadership, quality signings, and team spirit, winning mentality, momentum is building. Back our manager, and we will soon have our day. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Harris Army. Come on, you Flat Cap Army. I mean, Brian, I'm absolutely loving the positive vibes and loving the voice note you sent me earlier on as well, my man. I can tell you're absolutely buzzing with how Spurs are going right now. You're so positive about it. It's great to see. But Jack, maybe give your thoughts to Brian.
I think Brian, I know like Socrates is maybe more fitting of a name for him, Dave, but he needs to start to become like the motivational speaker or something for the Harris Army. He's kind of like the guy that would power you through kind of like a workout. He's the guy that would like get you, through the rest of your day. Dave, you have a bad week. You just want to speak to Brian C. Socrates because then he'll just get you through the rest of it. Kind of like Dermot, to be fair. Dermot does it too. He'll see the light at the end of the tunnel kind of guy. And I feel like Socrates is the same. And especially when things are riding high, Dave, when you feel like, Spurs are riding that high, there's only one man riding at the highest. And I feel like it's Brian C. Socrates at times. And honestly, I love it. I feel like he makes these sort of kind of chats here, Dave, that you would put up on a wall, you would kind of frame, somewhere. You would slap it when you go through the doorway, kind of thing, kind of statements. Honestly, Socrates, absolutely love you.
No, Brian, you're an absolute gentleman, and look, the elite leadership. Conte is showing that. Paratici is showing that. He's showing how he's able to manipulate the budget that Steve Hitchen couldn't. I mean, a lot of times clubs were asking for more than what we wanted. Steve Hitchen was going to Levy, and Levy was sitting there going, no, I'm not giving it to you. I'm not giving you that extra. It was pissing us all off. But what Conte has done, he's shown he's like, okay, this is the budget. That's fine. I'm going to get in 2 players that I don't have to pay for till next season. And then I'm going to actually spend that other cash on 2 quality players. The way he manipulates that budget, honestly, it gives me a hard on at times, to be honest with you. He's an absolute menace in the window. And I'm glad we have this guy Paratici here. And you can see the team spirit. You could see everybody absolutely loving life, Brian, against Brighton. You could see that on the pitch without having these disruption players, the Celso, Ndombele, Dele Alli, so a whole breath of fresh air right throughout the team as well. And momentum is surely building, my man. It surely is. Let's have a good back end to this campaign, a good transfer window. And then next season, I think all of us Spurs fans could be super excited, believing we could win the league first game of the season.
Socrates.
Big up Socrates. What an absolute legend. Everybody, make sure you do smash that like button. Make sure you smash that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Any members that do want to come on and have their say, the link is up in the community section. If we have time at the end, we will put the link out to the public. if there's not enough members coming on tonight. But if there is, we'll catch you all again. But as well, feel free to get your super chats in and help support the channel. It's a great way to support myself and Jack, a great way to put questions to the guests that come on. And they always lead to great talking points. Now, do not worry, do not get scared off, because we know it's a harsh world out there. Just get your thoughts in the comment section, and we will bring them up. But look, it's time to get on the first guest, and he's first in. He's not Robbie Keane, but he's definitely keen to come on and have his say, and it is Brad Matthews. Brad, my man, how are you keeping?
I'm good. I was feeling really knackered after working today, but as soon as this show starts, I was like, yeah, back up and woo.
Love it.
Start laughing at the comments and you guys, and so good. Feeling optimistic, which will surprise many people that know me, but feeling optimistic for a change. So yeah.
What has you so optimistic, Brad?
I just think that I thought the transfer window was okay, and as from last week, I didn't give it full marks, but I thought it was a good window. And I just love the Conte interview, pre-match interview, because when you read between the lines, he's saying something. And when he was saying about, when you buy a player and then you sell them 2 years later, they must have made mistakes. And then Hitchin resigned the next day, although apparently he gets on pretty well with Hitchin. But no, I just felt that he's been saying, he's obviously got to toe the company line when he's doing press conferences, but I think he's more or less saying, hey, look, you back me. I know what I'm doing. And I don't know if anyone's seen the Ali Gold thing, but he was saying that Ali Gold reckons he's told some things to Levy that no one's ever said to Levy before. Some home truths.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
You've got to really like that. And the more and more I see Conte, the more and more I believe that if he's backed, this club is going places. This club is going places, because I felt on Saturday it was a comfortable win, wasn't it? We're playing Brighton, another Premier League team, with a manager that's turned us down because he wants to do bigger things, and yet we've beaten them quite convincingly.
Felt like from the moment the ball was kicked, Brad, it felt like, it felt very comfortable. It felt like, there's only one team winning this.
Yeah, from the front foot. It was on the front foot from minute one. They had a little 10-minute period in the second half, but then that'll happen in most games you play. There'll be a little time when
when you dominate.
Yeah. But and then when we conceded the goal, we got straight back and got the third. I felt that the starting 11, and then we had the two new guys. It was virtually like having four new players, playing. So I thought it was a very good performance. And I'm sure you can ask me, David, Harry Kane. I mean, that was just a brilliant performance. And that goal, where I sit, I'm looking right behind Kane.
Best way to open the game as well. But great way to open the game.
I'm sort of looking right behind him. And when he got that ball, you just knew what he was going to do. And that was vintage Kane, the curling ball into the corner. As soon as it hit, you knew what he was going to do. And as soon as he hit it, that was a goal. And that was absolutely brilliant. So it was a convincing performance. I thought the new guys showed promise, but hey, look, it's too early really to sort of have any sort of real sort of opinions on them. But no, I think we've now got a squad. I feel confident that he can bring players on, and they are good. They're good players. We don't suffer when he takes a player off and brings one on. And once we get, say, Dyer and Tanganga back fit again, and Skip, that's not a bad team we got there.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely not a bad team. But look, one player I think that definitely stood out as well is Romero, Brad. If this guy can stay fit between now and the end of the season, could he potentially be the difference maker for us getting top four, do you think?
I think if we keep him fit, I really think. I think if we had the whole squad is kept fit, because it's a nice compact squad, not very deep, but it's a nice compact squad that you're confident that any player in that squad can do a job. But you know what? I saw Romero when they had one of the training clips. And just when you just look at him, you feel confident. You just look at him.
I know what you're saying.
We got him back, sort of thing. And no, he is just. I mean, the guy, he's only 24, isn't he? Gee, what was I doing when I was 24?
Yeah.
Well, the hell, And he be interested to see what happens when Dyer's fit again. Whether he moves over to the right or whether they sort of keep him in that centre. But no, he's a very, very good player. I think he might get his share of bookings during the season, but I think any decent player will do that. So I think that was good to have him back. Sonny was sort of like, Sonny was back, not quite 100%, but it was good to have him back. And that second goal that Sonny scored, that bit of acceleration, I'm literally opposite him when he starts accelerating, and that to me was the highlight of the match. I mean,
I thought so too. You thought he was running fast then, and then he puts on a second bit of
pace,
exactly.
And
it was really scary.
That was. I mean, I was there at the Burnley game when he got that goal, which is the best goal I've ever seen live, ever. Since I've been watching football. And when he that little bit, I mean, obviously he didn't finish it off, but then we got the lucky break and we scored. But that little bit of moment, you thought, that's right.
It felt like Sonny's goal. It felt like Sonny's goal, that sort of goal. And I completely agree. I think we even said during the commentary on the watch along, it felt similar, or it had similar vibes to the original Burnley goal. That's for sure, Brad. But I mean, what do you kind of make of this? Kind of the fact that it was so comfortable, Brad, because I feel like the last time I was saying that we had a comfortable performance was, I feel like Crystal Palace was maybe the last time, felt really comfortable from the get-go, like we've been kind of agreeing on. But this was a team, Brighton, a lot of people, including myself, kind of were praising Harry Potter, praising, what the football that, he's been kind of doing down there in Brighton. And we just absolutely bulldozed them from the beginning. I mean, is this a fluke? Is this maybe just teams that we do need to bully, or is this maybe say something about maybe the aura or the vibe around the dressing room?
I think it's all of them. I think the fact that the players that haven't been getting a game, the players that are in the squad, the players that don't get a game now know that they will get their chance. But the players that I think were on the non-Dembélés, your Dele Allis and your Lo Celsos, maybe not so much Lo Celso, but I think they knew that they were never going to get a game. So they might not have been disrupted, but they would have been unhappy, and you don't want that. I think now you've got a dressing room of players that know that they're all going to get their chance, that the manager believes in them, and they seem to. Conte's all about mentality, and I love what Paratici said when he said about we're looking for players. Obviously you want a talented player, but it's the whole thing. You want that mentality. Yeah. And they've got two guys in from Juventus. I mean, everyone goes on, we raided his old club. Well, they're still decent players. And was it Bentancur is 24? He's won the title 3 times. A year and a
half younger than Winks as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, so there seems to be that mentality is building. Yeah, we've still got a way to go. Don't get me wrong. And that was the great thing about it. I thought we won pretty comfortably, but you could still see there's improvements to be made. So that I think is a good point as well. But I think if we can build up momentum, and it's probably good that we've got a couple. I think the next 2 games, they won't be easy, but they're games that we should win. And then once we start going to places like the Etihad and Anfield, then hopefully you've got that momentum, that confidence is back. I'm a bit disappointed that I didn't realise there were games on Tuesday and Thursday. I thought Wednesday was like basically the catch-up games for us, but I didn't know Man United were playing on Tuesday. Because I thought if we beat Southampton, we actually go above. We actually go into 4th. But Man United are playing, so if Man United win, that won't happen. But it's. And I think if you're Conte, you're drilling into them. We got 2 games in hand on these other guys. We got Man United away and Arsenal at home. Win those games, and we're virtually home and hosed. We just have to be really, consistent during the final games, because they're 6-pointers. I don't think West Ham at the moment are a threat, but hey, there's still half a season to go. But I think it's the mentality at the moment is just it's just looking good. And it's, if you think of Pochettino's first season, he got rid of a lot of the old Deadwood players, didn't he? In that first season, he got rid of your Townsends and these. I
think he got rid of like 13, 14 players. I think.
Yeah, and then suddenly you had that. I think from memory we finished 5th in that his first season. Yeah. Which I think we got on the last day, because I think Liverpool lost on that last day and we snuck in. But then from that moment on, you had the team that he had there was the team that became the team that we all loved. And then the following season, we improved it. I think that's when we got Wanyama came into the team and that sort of thing. So, I think this is hopefully, and surely, I mean, we all have a go at Daniel Levy, but he's not a silly man. He must know, he must realise I don't. Another thing from Nick that I got actually the Ali Gold one was very interesting. His latest one, he was saying about Steve Hitchen. Everyone has a go at Steve Hitchen, and he feels it's a little bit unfair. But Steve Hitchen apparently had got a lot of deals in place for your Skinner, Archer, Dybanas, these sort of players, and said, "There you go, they're all ready to go." But Daniel Levy wouldn't pay the money, and that's what they all broke down. So yeah. So come.
You know what, Brad? Just to that point, I get it. But if you were Daniel Levy, would you trust Steve Hitchen with them, like with the Skriniar one? Because that would have been one of the last ones that he probably failed to get over the line. Would you trust Steve Hitchen with that money, knowing what he spent over 300 million on before that?
Yeah, that's a fair point. But I guess that's the thing about having a football man in there to take it away from Daniel Levy. It shouldn't. Daniel Levy shouldn't be saying yes or no on his knowledge of a football player. So if, but I get your point. But at the end of the day, you're employing your Steve Hitchens or your Paratici or whoever to pick players to make that team stronger. And the other point, and look, we all love Pochettino, but Nondombele was his choice. He wanted Nondombele, he wanted Lo Celso. So, you'd have to look at that as well. But it just goes to show that we come close to these players, but because we won't pay that extra bit of money, and this is why, and look, I've said this to I'm blue in the face. You've heard me say it. Everyone's heard me say it. You get that money back in the Champions League. You get to the Champions League, you're guaranteed 50-60 million pound for just being there. So your extra 5-10 million pounds you pay on a player, you're going to get that back. So I just don't get that. I really don't get that. But yeah, so the summer is going to be really, really important for this club. And I know we say it every summer, but this could be the most important thing. I really believe if he's backed, we could be challenging for the title. Maybe not next season, but I think in the next couple of seasons. Let's face it, we didn't really expect to be challenging for the title under Pochettino, but we did.
Yeah.
So I think that under Conte, that's a big possibility because he wants. I didn't actually hear it myself, but didn't they ask him about, are you trying to get top 4 with this club? And he said, no, I want to win titles.
Yeah.
And you've got to just love that. You just got to love that sort of comment because that's what we want. You want that winning mentality.
You want him to be saying that.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying.
Exactly.
I know what you're saying. Brad, this is kind of a, outside kind of, the ballpark sort of question, but there were a lot of, potential upsets of, the FA Cup, kind of weekend. There were a lot of, with West Ham and Kidderminster. We saw, of course, Man United get upset. I believe there were a few others as well. Yeah, exactly. A few non-league teams that had won. There were a lot of upsets, and we saw maybe the magic of the FA Cup, as people would like to say. But Spurs, maybe it was not as much. Spurs still handled Brighton, quite convincingly. Let's say we were in West Ham's shoes. Let's say we were, let's say we were playing away from home. Kidderminster's hosting us. Do you feel like we would have pushed them aside, maybe whereas a team like West Ham, simply couldn't? Do you feel like there is maybe something different about maybe the team right now?
I think it's really weird. I think that maybe a couple of weeks ago, we might have struggled. Because let's face it, Morecambe we should have pushed aside and we didn't. Because
that's what
the team we put out against Morecambe was your second. It was a strong team. It still had your second string players. It had Nondombele. It had Lo Celso. It had Dele Alli. And yet we couldn't push them aside. This team, I think, I'm more confident that this team could go to Kidderminster or Middlesbrough. And I think hopefully with the fact that we're out of Europe, hopefully that we'll have games that will come along that we won't need to rest players and he'll be able to play, a strong lineup in these games. Well, I think really, to be honest, with the 18 or 19 players we have, I think any first 11 is actually a reasonably strong lineup. Certainly to go to Middlesbrough and get a result there. And we can't, the days of the days of going up to one of these grounds and say, well, we'll get them back at Tottenham and beat them, they're gone. There's no more replays anymore. So we've got to go up there and we've got to win. We don't want to go to penalties. We've got to go up there and win. And it's happened in the past. It happened in the past. Look at our cup run a few years ago. We got draws at Rochdale. We got draws at Newport or wherever it was, but took them back to, our home, which was Wembley at the time, and comfortably beat them. And that's been a thing of Tottenham. I've seen them do it so many times, go to these difficult grounds, get the draw, come back to Tottenham, win convincingly. Can't do that anymore. That's gone. Those days have gone. So we've got to go up to Middlesbrough. It'll be difficult, don't get me wrong, because they'll be buzzing. They'll We'll have that
That's
crowd
kind of why I
behind.
asked it, was because in the game that, the next fixture that we will be playing, I'm kind of wondering, maybe is it going to be away from home as well?
Yeah, Middlesbrough's away.
So
Yeah.
exactly the point. So will we be that sort of team that, will kind of buckle like maybe the others have in the FA Cup? You seem to think we might not. I guess a few weeks ago it felt like we would be that team, the definition of that sort of team.
My opinion is, or my feeling. I don't call it my opinion. My feeling has literally changed. The game we saw on Saturday was a confident Spurs. It was a team seemed to know what they're doing. And that was only after a week of training, because they had a week off, and then they came back. The more training we get under Conte, the more fitter they get, and that's what happened under. I don't like to keep going back to Pochettino because those days are gone, but that's what we had at Pochettino. We had that fitness, and if you're fit, then you don't lose your skill levels.
Yeah.
As soon as you start getting tired, then your skill levels go out the door. So if you're fit for 90 minutes, then you have those skill levels for 90 minutes, and I think the Middlesbrough game is 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
I think it's actually the first game. It's actually the first game after I leave my job, so that's interesting. So
Love it.
Yeah. So I think when we go up there, they would have that fitness behind them. That mental strength will hopefully be getting stronger. They hopefully had a run of victories, because I think they've got Man City, haven't they? So if we can win our next 2 games and even get something at Man City, even if it's a point,
then
they're going to have this confidence, and they should go to Middlesbrough without any problems. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but they should be able to go there confident that if they play to the best of their ability. And that was the thing about the Brighton game. Yeah, Brighton have had a good season, but we knew if we played to the best of our ability, we'll beat the best of Tottenham will beat the best of Brighton. As simple as.
Yeah.
And there's probably not that many teams in the league that would beat our best when we play at our best. So go to Middlesbrough, play at our best, and we'll win comfortably. But as I say, it'll still be difficult. So I'm still expecting maybe a 1-0 or a 2-1 or something. But I think we should get through. And then the FA Cup's going to be really difficult to win this year, because I think none of the big teams are playing each other. So there's going to be a lot of good teams, and if we get to the quarterfinals, there's going to be a lot of good teams in that quarterfinals. Just looking at Darts on G's comment. Do you want to read it out, David?
Yeah. Darks on G says one of Son's best goal was against Middlesbrough. Do you remember that?
I was there. I remember that. Yeah.
Tell us.
Yeah, we went up to Middlesbrough. It's a bloody long journey. It's a bloody long journey up to Middlesbrough. Got there, and it was a game. It was probably when you started to realise, hey, this team under Pochettino, this team's pretty good. Because we went up there thinking, Middlesbrough, we don't have a lot of good results up here.
Yeah.
And I think from memory, we were 2-0. I think Son scored, and then he got this brilliant goal, the second goal. I think from memory, he took it to literally from the byline, and then took it back again, turned around and put it in. It's like, if you can check it out on YouTube, Middlesbrough versus Tottenham from about 2016, 17 maybe.
Is your memory a lot better than mine, lad?
Yeah, you and Darks on G, or you and Darks on G.
It is a cracking. And the thing was, we eventually won that game 2-1, but Middlesbrough scored against the run of play. We should have won 3-4, 5-0. And you suddenly thought, and I think that puts in a good position in the league. Because I think it was quite early on, and we went up the table quite a lot, and you suddenly thought, hey, this team's good. This team can do it. Because Tottenham have never been that sort of team to go to these places and win easily. They've always struggled at some of these grounds.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was...
Them days are over now, though, Brad. Them days are over now.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And I remember that night, because I went into the train station. It's right, there's a pub where the train station is. I always, as you know, I let the crowds go, and I went in there for a few drinks. It's an away pub as well. And I started chatting to these lads, and we were all talking about... We didn't have a song for Son at the time. They're trying to come up with a song for Son. And they were actually staying in Middlesbrough. They actually, look, come out of us. Keep on the hotel floor. And I'm fine, guys. It was a really, really good day that day.
Will you make the trip up for this one?
Sorry?
Will you make up the trip? Will you make the trip up? Actually,
that's a good point. It's a long, It's the only problem with Middlesbrough it's in the evening as well. So it's really, if you go by train, if you go by car, it's no problems. If you go by train, it's going to be really difficult to get
You know what
home
I'm
again.
saying, Brad? You know, you've left your job, go up there and enjoy the living crap.
Well, this is now you mention it. This is I mean, that's what I did for Swansea a few years ago.
Good kind of problems to have, Brad. It's the good kind of problems to have. There you are.
Well, I went to Swansea a few years ago, that famous 3-1 win there, and I actually took a day off, booked a hotel, went up there, watched the game, stayed in the hotel, drinks in one of the local pubs. It's brilliant, loved it.
No, you're dead right. You're dead right. Well, look, Brad, thank you very much for your time this evening. Thank you very much for coming on.
No problems, guys.
The Southampton game, and I'll see you at the Wolves one.
Yeah, I look forward to it, mate. Look forward to it. And don't forget, everyone, click like and subscribe.
Legend.
Hit the notification bell, wherever it is.
Yeah.
And stay tuned for some. I'm sure there's absolutely brilliant guests after me. So I'm just the aperitif. You've got the main courses coming on a bit later.
Big up, Brad.
Absolutely brilliantly, Brad. Kicked that off brilliantly, my man. Look, we'll see you soon, brother.
See you later, guys. Take care.
What a legend.
Gotcha,
Everybody, give it up for Brad in the comments. What an absolute legend. But speaking of legends, let's bring on the biggest one from Tottenham Tantrum Gold. And let's Kuva and Ben come on and prove otherwise and fill it this. But let's get him on. And it's my man, Dermot. Dermot, how you keeping, brother?
Can you hear me okay this week?
Hey, it's a bit low, Dermot.
Right, hang on.
Maybe turn yourself up, but I mean, I can maybe do it for you, but you just keep going, Dermot.
How's that?
Yeah, no, it's grand. It's grand. It's grand. But anyway, my man. Yeah. It'll do. It'll do. But how are you keeping anyway, Dermot?
Yeah, I'm keeping fine. Really happy. Great performance Saturday. I mean, it was nice to watch the Spurs game without getting worried.
Yeah.
It was a really weird sort of feeling that you knew they were going to win, and they were playing well, and you knew they weren't going to cock it off either.
Yeah.
It just really was a weird feeling. And yeah, it was great. I loved it. I thought Sonny played well. Kane is back. Should we have any doubt anyway? All them doubters should be apologising to you now and sending letters of apology and text messages and get them all into you. The two new signings were fantastic. I mean, we're on the way up. The league is ours next season. The Scrivers says the quadruple. Yeah, we're going to win that. Then we'll win the World Club Championship. We're just going to win everything.
Who was your standout performer from the Brighton game, Dermot?
I think they all played well. I don't think one player you can actually pick out and say he played brilliant. They all played brilliant. Winks for me had a bit of an iffy game. I don't think he was that brilliant, but everyone did their job. Holberg, Skippy, Holberg did his job. I thought Sanchez had a good game, and because Romero's back now, he's more comfortable with Romero in the centre. And everyone had a good game, so I don't think you can pick one player out. I thought they all played well. If you have to really be picky, I would say Kane. Just because of the first goal.
Yeah.
I mean,
what a way to kind of set the tone, right? What a way to set the tone with a goal like that.
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. And it makes you faith in Tottenham again to be a Spurs fan. Right. You watched Arsenal out of the cup, Man United tumbling out. You see Boreham Wood, which I used to live near Boreham Wood when I was younger. Boreham Wood wasn't too far from St Albans.
Yeah.
They used to be in the same league as St Albans City years and years ago. See Boreham Wood, see Kidderminster nearly putting out West Ham.
Yeah.
Looking at Plymouth nearly putting out Chelsea. And you're sitting there thinking, we played brilliant, and the rest of them,
wasn't cakewalks for the rest of the teams. That's what I think I was trying to say, Dermot. And why do you think it wasn't a cakewalk for us? Or why do you think it was a cakewalk for us this time?
I think we've got Dele out, Lissalsi out, Tanguy out. I think them three players alone, you've taken a lot of destruction out of the dressing room.
Mm-hmm.
And Conte has actually made a thing. If you don't pull your weight, if you mess around, you're out that door.
Yeah.
And I think the other players now thinking, right, okay, we need to buck up our ideas here.
I think you're actually spot on there, Dermot, especially because Dele Alli, Lo Celso, Dele, and Tanguy, those are three big names at the end of the day. They're three big names, three big wages, huge personalities, huge players, despite how little, apart from Dele Alli, but how little Tanguy and Gio have done for Spurs, they still are kind of world-renowned sort of players. And the statement that Antonio Conte and Paratici have sent, like getting them all out of the club, maybe sends a message to the rest of the players who think you're right.
And the biggest one to get out of the club is Hitchen. That is the biggest one out of the whole lot of them. I think that's a big statement. And I think there is truth in Conte telling Levy a few half-truths. I think Levy's somewhere hiding now under his desk, still cuddling his teddy bear and his dummy and his hot water bottle shaking, thinking, I don't want to come out of there anymore.
Yeah.
Just giving the checkbook and the credit card over the top of the table like that with his hand shaking him to Paratici, and Paratici skipping out the door, thinking we can spend money.
Yeah.
You know, Conte is changing that club. The other way I can describe it, it's like when Bill Nick took over. It's that sort of, he's building his own house. Conte is. He's building like Bill Nick did. He built the foundations for the Super Spurs and the 70 side and the 80 side. Conte's doing exactly the same thing. He's gone back to the Arthur Rowe, Bill Nick time, where they put the foundations that led Tottenham onto their successful periods as a club. And I think Conte's doing exactly the same thing.
You know, look, it's definitely big boots to fill. That's for sure. But I think every Spurs fan is starting to get a feeling that maybe something special is starting to happen. It's kind of like what Brad said as well. It was on before, where he was saying, you know, look, Pochettino was able to get rid of players he didn't want, and you know, look what went on there. And it kind of does feel like that it's heading in that same sort of direction, but this time we have a manager who's been there, done that, and knows exactly what it takes to get over the line. William Kelly says, "Go on, Dermot, you Irish legend."
Thank you very much, William. Very kind of you. There's two Irish legends, and there's one above me who's the biggest one out of the lot of us. That man from Kildare up there, he's the biggest Irish legend on this show.
No,
I'm just walking. I can't even fill that man's boots. I'm just an apprentice. He's the master.
No, look, I'm just a normal Spurs fan. That's all I am. Just like you guys, just want to get my opinions out there and get my voice heard. That's all it is. But Dermot, you know, what did you make of the two new signings? A lot of people, you know, maybe writing off Kulusevski already.
I saw you on earlier stream, Dave, with Matty Hayes. I caught a bit of it, and then I went over to Jackson, caught a bit of his, and I was very brilliant by it. Yeah, I did. I found it a bit difficult. I thought, who do I watch? I thought, well, I'll watch half an hour at Jack. Then I go and watch the rest of Jack. I thought I'll split it.
Too nice. Too nice.
So I can't get into any trouble. I thought split it down the middle. I'm covering myself. I thought the Kulusevski, he was nervous. As you said, Dave, he's 21. And he was nervous. You could tell he was nervous. But he would have made 2 assists if Stevie B had got that one in. The other one, my Jesus, he's brilliant. He's got South American skills. You can see him how he did think round the players, passed it back, and still got it out. And I was just thinking, Lord Jesus, this is like having Ozzy and Ricky. If you know what I mean, it's like bringing in. But when they came in the early late 70s, it was like having that sort of feel-good factor. And I thought they were brilliant. I thought they're going to be great players for us, a great addition to the team. And they'll be superstars for Tottenham. They will be Tottenham legends by the time they leave the club. No doubt about that.
And as well, you look at Basuma, the way he performed for Brighton. Everyone was talking about the cucumber Cucurella, and about lampposts before the game. You know what I mean? That they're going to be the main outlets for them, this, that, and the other. But it was actually Basuma who kind of bossed that midfield. Did that game, considering we were so solid everywhere else with our best player in the field, with Winks in the team, did that kind of highlight our weakness that it is the middle of the park? And when you look at Højbjerg and Winks, for me, Højbjerg was getting stuck in, he was trying his best. Winks, he had a couple of passes, but was a bit of a bystander. But when Bentancur came on, he kind of slowed down the stem of Basuma. So does that kind of show that maybe Bentancur has to come straight in for Winks, do you think?
Yeah, Winks cannot play. How long are we going to give Winks a chance after chance after chance? He keeps letting us down. And people complain about Holberg. Let's get one thing right here. Holberg, I said on Saturday, I watched it with a few friends privately on YouTube on StreamYard, and I said to him, I haven't seen Holberg, but that's a good thing because he's quietly getting around his job, doing what he's supposed to do. Winks should not be playing now. Winks should just come on as a bit player as and when we need him. And I think that what's his name, Dave? Is it Bentancur? Bentancur. I think he's brilliant. He just slowed everything down, and he just made it easy for Holberg. And he's a great replacement for Holberg as well, because we can rest Holberg, place him with Skippy. Well, Skippy needs a break. We'll bring him next to Holberg. But we need a central midfielder, and we need a CAM as well. And I think sending Hill out on loan, bring him back in the summer, start him in that role, because I think that's where he will end up. You class him as the new Modric. I see a bit of Glenn Hoddle in the way he goes and he glides and he can put a pass in. I really can, and I'm a believer. I know you are.
You're definitely a believer by saying that, Dermot. You're definitely a believer by saying that.
I just see something in him that I haven't seen since Glenn Hoddle. And Glenn Hoddle was a big boot to fill. I know that, but I genuinely have not seen that talent like Gil has since Glenn Hoddle. And that's just something. Yeah. Modric was very good. He is world class, but Gil is at the next level. And he's got a bit of Modric in him, but he's also got a bit of Glenn Hoddle, and I'm really excited for him to come back and sit in that cam role and unlock the defences when we need them unlocking, because that would be the final piece, I think.
Yeah. William Kelly with the super chat says, "Don't mind that lad from Kildare. It's the boy from Carlow you'd want to watch out for." I think he's referring to himself.
Yeah, well, you don't worry about the man from Carlow. It's the fella from Wexford you really got to watch out for.
Look, lads, in terms of Gaelic football, you'll always be under Kildare's under Kildare's shadow. So you always will be. Kildare will always reign supreme. The great county of horse races, actually, and I'm allergic to horses. Imagine that. That's a bad one. Well, that is a good one.
Well, we lost our holy manager now. He's gone down to Cork now, so God knows what this season's going to be like for us. But
it's going to be a long one for sure.
It is very.
Big up, William Kelly, my man. I really do appreciate the support, brother. Everyone else, feel free to keep smashing that like button, keep smashing that subscribe button if you are new, and to get your super chats in and help support the channel. And anything you want to put to myself, Jack, or Dermot. Dermot, just on Gil quickly before I let Jack in with a couple of questions. Do you think we never really gave him a chance, considering the amount of the games he did get was with players that didn't want to be here? So he didn't really get to showcase his best abilities, maybe.
I agree with you. I don't think he did. And I blame Nuno for that. I blame Nuno and I blame Mourinho for that. I don't know if he came under Mourinho, but I do blame Nuno. He should have had a long pre-season. Conte, I think because he hasn't played so long, I think he got nervous. And I think the nerves got hold of him. And I think that's why he wasn't able. It was only bits and starts. He wasn't there he should have started in more games. But I think a line might be good for him. Look what happened to Skippy. He went away for a year and he came back as a completely different player. So I think Conte will have him in his plans for next year, and he'll be a world-class player. And I think that shows how bad Nuno is. As much as he's a nice man, he didn't really have an eye for a good talent. And to leave one of your best young players on the bench, I think was generally a mistake when you're playing Dele Alli and Winks ahead of him. It leaves you scratchy. He really did not know what he was doing.
Yeah, for sure. Jack, Jack, any questions for Dermot there?
Yeah, Dermot. A lot of people have been kind of talking about how unbelievable Romero was in the middle of the back three. What does that make you think then? Because Eric Dyer then is going to come back soon. Does Eric Dyer then take that middle of the back three? Do you just put Romero back on the right-hand side? Is that really a headache really at all for you? I mean, what are your thoughts? Because it felt like Romero had such an exceptional game in the spot that normally where Eric Dyer might play in the middle of the back three.
I would leave the defence as it is for the next few games.
Interesting.
I think
So you keep Sanchez then as well.
Yeah, I would. I thought Sanchez looks more comfortable with Romero in that back in the middle. I think
Interesting.
it's the same with Toby was there as well. When Sanchez, Toby, or Jan, he always looked comfortable. When in three, he had two decent defenders next to him. I think Romero just gives him that confidence that, okay, if I make a mistake, I've got somebody behind me that's going to help. And I think Dyer's had a thigh injury. I think that's why he didn't play on Saturday. But I actually would, but I keep the back three as it is. I really would. I think that back three played brilliantly, and I think Davis for me and Sanchez. Sanchez has improved, but Davis for me has been the biggest improver under contract.
Yeah.
Out of all of them, I really do, and he plays there for Wales anyway. So I think we're playing in the position that he feels comfortable in.
He's making a name for himself in a position. He's making a name for
Yeah.
himself in a position that,
Yeah.
you know, he doesn't have a lot of competition in. Ben Davies does. But, I mean, that'd be interesting to see potentially Sanchez keep that spot. I think Romero keeps the spot for sure. And clearly, you know, it showed why Romero gets back in the lineup. But maybe Sanchez keeps the spot. That's certainly interesting. But this is another kind of question that's been, I feel like, on a lot of people's minds, Dermot. But do you feel like maybe with the offloading of so many creative midfielders, do you see us maybe going for a 3-4-3 for most games for the rest of the season, more than that kind of 3-5-2?
I think we will. I think we play more comfortably at 3-4-3. I don't think we're comfortable at 3-5-2. I think 3-4-3 we're more comfortable. Even I said Saturday, I noticed Kane was dropping back more and more into that cam role.
Right.
And I think Kane eventually will end up there as he gets older. He'll just drop off like all great strikers do. He'll just drop off a little bit. But I think for this season, I think 3-4-3 is our position, and I think that will. I think we'll win. I think we will win the FA Cup with that formation as well. I'm quite confident we'll win the FA Cup this year. I think the draw's opening up for us. I mean, we will beat Middlesbrough. I think if we get a good draw in the quarterfinals, you know, we'll win that as well. I mean, there's four top sides in the FA Cup, and we're the fourth.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, we should aim at least the semi-final, and then when you're in semi-final, it's in luck of the gods. You know, if you play like that, they aim in the final, and the final's a one-off. But Tottenham to win the FA Cup, I will put money on it.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Excellent. G says the last time Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Winks played in the two of midfield was for the Leeds game at home, and that game was the same. We were bullied because of Winks, Bentancur, and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg for his midfield too. What would you say to that one, Jacko?
I feel like we saw immediately what Bentancur and Højbjerg can do together. You saw Højbjerg; he seemed to not be as worried at certain moments. At a certain stage as well, Dave. I mean, normally when you think about like when kind of a team steps up, and they kind of, the whole line kind of shifts together. You normally see that more often with kind of a midfield or a center back telling another center back to do that. But at one stage, I saw Bentancur like motion to Højbjerg to move up and to push forward with him, which I think just says a lot in comparison to Winks. You would never see Bentancur telling Højbjerg, to press higher. You would never see Bentancur telling Højbjerg, or you never see Winks telling Højbjerg to press higher, to match him up, to push the line a bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the midfield too looks a lot stronger with Bentancur. Certainly with Skip as well. Like Bentancur and Skip would also be dirty, I feel like, together. But yeah, Dark Sun G, I know what you mean. We've seen some of our worst performances with a midfield two of us of Harry Winks and somebody. We even saw it against what was it? The second leg against Enes Mira, I believe, was Skip and Harry Winks or something like that in the midfield together or something like that. That was also, an atrocious performance. So any midfield two of Winks is a bad sign. Bentancur, I think, is going to be taking his spot very soon, Dark Sun G, and I think we'll all be happy with that. And
I think with Bentancur and Højbjerg, I'm not saying that they're going to be as good as the pairing that I'm about to mention, Dembele and Wanyama. But you're getting back to that sort of style of partnership. One ball player, one absolute assassin in midfield. And I think, whoever wants to try and play through that middle, they're not going to have a very easy day in there, in my opinion. Even the top teams, if we end up going 3-5-2 against the top teams and you bring Skip in and add him to that, not many teams are going to want to try and play through that. I can tell you that now because it's going to be a long, hard day for them at the office. So I'm excited about it going forward. But you know what? Let's see if Winks can elevate his game to a new level. I don't think he will. But, look, this is why we brought in someone like Bentancur, because Winks, he was doing a job, but he wasn't exactly what we needed. So I think for me, Bentancur slots straight in. Dark Sun G. Dermot, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I agree with everything you and Jack said. I mean, over the years, we've always had that midfielder that would get stuck in and the other one that will be dynamite in midfield. I mean, you had Dave Mackay and Jack White in the 60s. You had Stevie Perryman through the 70s and 80s, like with Glenn Hoddle, Tony Galvin, and all them players. So we've always had that hard man in midfield to sort of put the foot in and the other one just to get us out of trouble. So it's been something through our history that we've always had, and I think we're getting back to that now. We've been missing that. And I think we had it on the Poch. We've totally missed it on the Mourinho, totally missed it on the Nuno, and I think now we're getting back to our roots. We're actually now getting back to our DNA, to what Tottenham Hotspur was once, what is and what wants and is about. Yeah. And I think that's a good sign. We're actually going back to what we are. The house of Bill Nick's now being built very slowly back up, and his spirit's coming back into the club.
No,
you can feel it.
I love it. A big up, Dark Sun G, brother. Really do appreciate the support, my man. And Dermot, maybe last question for you before we let you plug your channel. Look, I know how staunch Levy out you are. I think you've seen the news the last couple of days that maybe the club could be up for sale. I haven't read too much into it, to be honest with you. But me personally, I think Levy has probably learned from his mistakes in terms of getting in someone like Paratici and handing over full control. And I think he realises where he went wrong and that Paratici is the man to bring us forward. Do you still want Levy to sell up, I guess, is what I'm asking?
Yeah. That man will never learn from his mistakes.
I could be, yeah.
I mean, Dave, I'm surprised you said that. I'm really... He will never learn from his mistakes. I mean, from what I'm hearing, for what the little stumblings I'm hearing, the future looks very bright on that front. So I'm hearing little pockets here and there. Levy is scared. Mindless. I can't swear because I don't want to swear, but I want to say how I want to say, but he is scared out of his mind. Yeah. He's scared witless. He's scared of losing Conte, and he knows what will happen if he loses Conte. I think they should sell up, and I think either that or just sell to a company or an investor that will put money into the club, into Conte. Give him a war chest. Say, here's your money. Spend what you like. 200 or 250 million. There you go. Buy your players. And, once you win trophies, that guarantees you more money because you get into, as Brad said, you get into the Champions League. You get money for winning the FA Cup. You get money for winning the league. And I think that's where it has to go. Levy will never learn from his mistake. And the sooner as that man, Parasite, as Brian calls him, and Enoch get out of my club, the better. I will be a happy man that day.
Yeah, no, spot on. Well, look, Mark Cousins put in a super chat. He says, Dermot, 31 years is too long since my hero lifted it.
It's very long. I mean, it's 40. This year it's 40 years since we won the FA Cup in '82, and it's 31 years since we last won it in '91. I mean, my hero Steve Perryman lifted it in '82. Gary Mabbutt, what a legend that is, Gary Mabbutt lifted it in '91. I was there at Wembley that day. Was there for the semi-final when Gazza scored that fantastic free kick. Yeah, it's too long. We were the FA Cup kings, and we need to be again, and we will be again. Anyone that thinks Tottenham are not going to be great again, they're deluded, because they will be. These things go in cycles. The cockerel is now starting. You can see it's ruffling its feathers. It's getting ready. It's coming up from the ashes. Bill Nick is in the background, just spreading the wisdom through the club. Arthur Rose there spreading his wisdom through the players. And the cockerel on the chest means something. It means something to be a Spurs fan. we don't have to hide anymore. We can push our chest up, proud and now to think we're Tottenham Hotspur fans and be proud of it, because for too long we've been told to hide. We're not hiding anymore.
Yeah.
Spurs are the kings of North London. We're the kings of London. We're going to win everything. And in 3 years' time, 4 years' time, we'll look back at the dark times and think, wow, they were bad. But we are going to win stuff. I've said it before and I say it again. Tottenham Hotspur are back, and nobody's going to keep us down anymore, because that couple is going to crow to I'm an old man and in my box.
Love
and that's
that.
when they stop winning.
Tottenham are back, baby. I love to hear that, Dermot. But look, Dermot, before we let you go, where can people find you, my man?
You can find me on Twitter on Tottenham Tantrum. I want to say thank you to everyone we've got over 700 followers now on our Twitter page. And I want to thank everyone for the kind birthday messages I received, and everything from the Harris Army as well. Thank you very much. It meant a hell of a lot. So thanks very much. And you can find me on Tottenham Tantrum Gold with Cooper, Ben and Hollywood Phil. We do the coffee morning every morning from Ben's Coffee Shop. We're putting together a few shows in the next week or so. We're doing the Bill Nick special, and we're trying to get a few guests on in the background. And yeah, so everything is good. You can find us there. We're trying to get to 400 before the end of February. That's our trying to do 100 a month. So we're 445 now. So if we can get to 400 by the end of February, that's our goal. So everyone, please put a description on Dave's channel. Get Jack up to 1,000. Let's do that before the end of February. Like, subscribe, and please like all the Spurs content providers, but these two do first, because these are our mothership. This is where we came from. DGG come from, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them too. So thank you very much. And Brad, you are wonderful before me. What a big act to follow.
Yeah.
So
big up.
Absolutely, and good luck to everyone that's watching tonight, coming on after me, and enjoy yourself and come on, Miss Spurs.
Absolutely love it. And look, Dermot, it's in the chat there. So anybody that does want to check it out, just click on the link and get over there. But Dermot, absolute legend, my man. And I'll see you again soon, brother.
See you on Sunday, Dave.
I'll see you on Sunday. Come on, you Spurs.
Big up, Dermot. Good to see you, my man.
Dermot, what an absolute hero. Everybody, give Dermot a lot of love in the comments, and please do get over and check out the channel. He's an absolute hero. He'd get anybody pumped up, so he would. He's such a gentleman. But look, we keep moving. The guests are building up, so we're going to keep moving. And the next guest we'll get on is Chris. Chris, my man. How are you doing?
Evening, lads. Evening. Good evening.
You happy, man?
See you, Chris.
Yeah, well, they didn't ruin my birthday, David. But first of all, David, can I just say, last night, you and Alex, you absolutely floored me. You absolutely floored me last night. I don't think I've ever left it hard. You absolutely murdered me, David, last night. I have to say, it was world class. It was like Tottenham won the double, the treble, then the quadruple, one after the other.
No, I love Alex. David,
it was fantastic. David, it was fantastic.
Lad, it went on for about an hour after. Me, Isan, and Alex, as soon as it ended, we were sitting in the background. It was going on for about another hour after.
Oh, David, I was steaming with laughter. I had to stop watching because I started crying. I was laughing that hard.
But you know what? In the end, and Islam will back me up here, in the end, Alex did admit that Højbjerg is our best midfielder at the club. He did admit it.
Oh.
Wow. There's no way. I would have to hear it from himself.
David, I have to hear it for myself. It was so funny.
Islam was there. Ask Islam.
It was just so funny, David. I swear, you and Islam had me in killer laughter last night.
Look, it's all in good banter. It's all in good banter. Alex has been calling me out for weeks, so I just said,
I know. I've noticed it. I've noticed he's been calling out in the WhatsApp group that you've been hiding, David. I think he's gone into hiding after last night.
No, I'm not hiding. I think Alex they can't separate hiding and busy. But look, Chris, what is it about Tottenham that has you absolutely buzzing?
Well, they didn't lose on my birthday, so I'll turn 40 on a happy day.
There you go.
See,
anything special? Did you get anything special for your birthday?
I was too drunk to remember, David, if I'm honest.
No, that's a good way.
You got to win against Harry Potter, Dave. That's enough. That's enough as it is, especially Chris. Against Harry Potter.
Jack, after all the crap he's come out with about he wanted to manage a bigger club than us, soon about bit him on his ass, didn't it?
We honestly, Christian,
Come back to the reality. Come back and bite him.
I think Conte, Christian Romero, Harry Potter to the floor there, kind of showing him, what it's like. He said he was too big for the job. Now Antonio Conte has the Tottenham Hotspur job. How does it look now? To Harry Potter.
Conte just looked at him, going, "That's my seat. You sit over there." But no, it was that was a brilliant performance from us in that first half. Absolute solid. And that's how we should be playing, David. Not holding back on these little teams. Just munch them up like we were done on Saturday. From the first minute, we were in their faces.
Yeah, just don't show them any respect, Chris. Just get at them like this is our house. You're coming into our house. We're going to put some manners on you. And it's. I'm glad we did do it to that Poundland Pep. To be honest with you, Chris.
Yeah. Well, do you know what though? It was seeing Romero back in that defense. With the crunching tackles, I was like, we missed you.
Yeah,
we definitely missed you.
How good was it, Chris? Tell me how good it was to see that.
Do you know what? I think there was two players I would give a 10 out of 10 on that performance. One, your man, Harry Kane. And two, it'll be Romero, the 10 out of 10s on that pitch.
Yeah.
They were the two that stood out for me, with Kane and Romero. The rest of them done well. But there's one player I don't want to see again. My man Winks again. He's just enough, please. Alex Davis, if you're listening, you can take him home with you and put him in a cupboard somewhere. We don't need him no more. We've got Bentancur.
Wow, you were that convinced, Chris.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Do you feel like, because Winks, we did the player ratings and we were kind of saying Winks, he didn't exactly do a whole lot wrong. He didn't really do a whole lot right. You kind of think like it was kind of a 6 or a 7 kind of performance. Do you feel like Bentancur for you?
Six. You give him a 6 and a 7. You're not a generous. I would have given him a 5.
Yeah.
That's just because. I would have given him a 5 just because it was my birthday and I let him off. And if it was any other time of the year, he would have got 4 or 3. He just went back, just lackadaisical, man. The game just passing him by. Why be putting meaty challenges in? And the game's just passing him by. Come on, man.
Look, in terms of the Spurs players on the pitch, he was probably the worst, but he wasn't that bad, though, Chris, was he?
David, he was just so lackadaisical, man. Just the game just passing him by. Tackles that he could have put in, took his foot out again. Back to his old standards where he was too scared to put a tackle in. You see Højbjerg kicking a player up in the air. You've got Wings standing next to him. Oh, don't worry, mate. I won't put a hard tackle in on you. Put a hard tackle in, man. Leave a mark on the challenge.
Yeah.
You see Romero doing it.
I actually thought he was at fault for the Basuma goal, actually, Chris, because he wasn't stepping out. He was just kind of marking space, like David said before.
Yeah, just marking thin air like he normally does. But you see, as soon as Bentancur come on for him, the midfield changed again. It went back to solid.
Yeah.
I can see Bentancur starting on Wednesday against Southampton. I do see him starting Wednesday.
And look, another player maybe you see starting is Romero. And hear me out on this one because it looked like he had a bit of cramp at the end. Do you reckon we put him out again against Southampton? We hold him back for
David, that was to be expected him getting cramp because he hasn't played since what December.
No, I know that, but do you think he'll be able to?
I think he'll start. He'll start Wednesday. I think it's going to be difficult for Dyer to get his position back, because I think with Sanchez and Romero and Davis, that back three look quite kind of solid. Especially with Romero playing, especially when you've got Romero in the center of that defense.
Yeah, you don't think Dyer could play where Sanchez is playing in beside Romero? No, you think maybe the lack of pace?
No, the lack of pace. Sanchez has got more pace than Dyer, so I think Sanchez will keep it for the pure that he's got pace. As much as he falls over,
Sanchez. He seems to like Sanchez.
As much as Sanchez falls over or trips over himself, he's still got a lot more pace than what Dyer has. So I think with the pace side of it, I think Sanchez keeps his position on the left side of defense, and I think it suits him. Sorry, on the right side of defense, and it suits him to the ground. When you've got Davis on the left of Romero, and Romero is dead on centre. I think it suits the back three.
Yeah. And Chris, do you think we have there? It looks like we're starting to get the right mentality, because we all know January was a hard month in terms of results, but we didn't let that phase us. We went out in potentially a tricky tie against Brighton and, won it comfortably. And do you think we have the mentality to be able to carry this all the way to top 4?
Yeah, I think so. Kulu come out with an interview today, didn't he, about the training regime that Tottenham have got. He goes, I've never seen such a hard training regime. He goes, but I love it. I'm enjoying it. He goes, I expected the Premiership to be tough, but I didn't know it was going to be this tough.
Mm.
But Conte's got them working really, really hard. So this is what the mentality is showing on the pitch. Work hard training, work even harder in the game.
Yeah.
And this, see, now we got rid of the Deadwood. We got the Endom fat ass is gone. The shit show's gone. And the walking crayon. 3 of the most toxic players we had in the dressing room. Gone. And you can see the attitudes have changed.
Yeah.
The players are smiling. They're enjoying playing football again.
Yeah.
Even think about this, Chris. I said this to Dave during the watch along. The fact that Antonio Conte never has to answer after games anymore. Why was Dele Alli, left out of the squad? Antonio, why was Tanguy Ndombele, left off the substitutes bench? Oh, you didn't decide to use Gio Lo Celso for this one, Antonio, why was that? He never has to answer those stupid questions anymore.
He's already answered it. He goes, I've got the players that I want and the players that I didn't need, I've got rid of. He's already answered it. Right. He answered it in his own press conference on the Brighton game, in the pre-match conference. They asked him about the 3 players that have gone out, and he goes, well, obviously we weren't playing them, so it was best for them to go.
Yeah.
So in his uncertain times, saying we don't need him, they can get out.
Yeah. Spot on there, Chris. Absolutely.
Which to be fair, Antonio Conte done the right thing, because obviously now poisonous players are starting to go out the door. The atmosphere in the dressing room is obviously a lot better, and it shows on the pitch as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it definitely does. David says, Chris, with QE and Sonny back, can we get top 4?
Yes. Yeah. I can't see why we can't get top 4. Still got the games in hand. And I can't see why we can't. Southampton Wolves, I expect 6 points. I expect no less than 6 points against them 2 teams. Man City, it could be tricky because it's at the Etihad. If it was at our ground, I'd say we could probably turn them over.
Yeah.
But it's at the Etihad, it's a bit risky. Man United could be a bit risky as well.
Mm.
But the next 2 games, which are Southampton and Wolves, I expect nothing less than 6 points.
Yeah, no, I love that. Look, we shouldn't be going into these games, they're going to be tricky, this, that, and the other. Look, we already know that, but I want to get back to the arrogance we had under Pochettino.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, yeah.
That's exactly it. David, that's why I'm saying I expect 6 points, no less. No less than 6 points. I don't want to see 2 points dropped. I want to see 6 points from those 2 games. Nothing less.
Yeah, for sure. Well, look, Chris, thank you for coming on this evening, my man.
You're welcome.
And any chance you'll be down there on Sunday for the Wolves game, though?
Unfortunately not. I'm stuck at work, man. They barred my holidays till the end of March.
Oh,
so I can't get back to London till the 21st of March. I'm not back in London.
Oh, you're just going to miss my Stafford jacket swell in March, lad.
Oh, you know what, though? I'll still be there with you in the spirit anyway. You'll still hear me saying, Levy, if you don't buy any players, I'm coming for you.
Chris, if I was in the stands with you now saying, well done, Moon Boots, that would make my day. Just when it's cleared.
Jack, you know, it's like I've got Tourette's if I have to say well done, Moon Boots. You know what I mean? It hurts. It hurts a lot. I'm like, no. Well done, Moon Boots. You know what I mean? I have to just stutter a little bit just to get the confidence up.
It's like marbles in the mouth. I know what you mean, Chris.
It's on the tip of the tongue, but you just can't exactly do it. You're like, yeah, I want to say it, but I might not do. But anyway, David, that's another reason I didn't do my my after the match review for the shorts. I was too drunk. I was too drunk to say anything. I would have been slurring. I would have been slurring my words. You would have seen me swaying left and right with the Jack Daniels in my hand.
No worries at all.
I was way too drunk to do it. My cam was way too. My camera would have been about 27 different angles.
No, look, you're all good, my man. You're all good. We'll get you for the Southampton game. You won't be escaping for that one. But look, Chris.
No, I'm working till 9 o'clock for that one, so I'm going to probably miss half the game.
God. You need to get a new job, lad. You need to get a new job. But
I know. Anyway,
Chris,
come on, you Spurs.
come on, you Spurs.
Big up, Chris.
Smash a like, get your super chats in, and get David to 6K.
Love that.
Come on,
Chris.
you lads.
Absolute legend. Big
Really
up, Chris. Big
appreciate
yourself up, brother.
What an absolute legend. Everyone.
What a baller. What a baller.
In the comments. But big up, David, my man. Really do appreciate the support, brother. Dark Song G says also Sanchez has 2 goals in the Premier League this season. Dyer has 0. So I think even if Dyer returns, Romero should be in the middle of the back three. Do you know what, Dark Song G? I would like to keep him in the middle. I would actually keep that same back three. Yeah, I didn't think I'd be saying it. Look, I would prefer to put Dyer in there, but I just worry about Dyer on the outside and not being in the middle. But I mean, Romero had his best game in a Spurs jersey, so yeah, I probably would keep him in the middle, to be honest. And it's kind of up to Dyer, maybe if he does get a chance in Sanchez's position to prove that he can play in that position. Jack, what would you say?
Yeah, Dark Sun G, it's really tough. It feels like Romero at his peak in the middle of the back three is far better than Eric Dyer at his peak in the middle of the back three. And then what we've been seeing Sanchez doing on the right-hand side of the back three, he's been quite solid there. Like, he really has been quite solid there. And do you really want to displace Romero from maybe his best position in the back three, to cater to Eric Dyer? I'm not sure. I really am. But maybe Romero can do well on the right side of the back three. It just feels like Antonio Conte does like Sanchez. He does like Sanchez. And also as well, maybe Sanchez at his peak, like when Sanchez is playing his best, that might actually be better than when Eric Dyer is playing at his best when you do think about it. Like when you're getting the best Sanchez is, winning headers, clearing the ball, sitting people down, being able to have that recovery pace when you need it. But his worst is Bambi on ice Sanchez that we're used to. But I don't know, Dark Sunday. It's a tough way to go about it. I would say maybe you keep Romero in the middle of the back three. I'm going to be a bit scary, and I'm just going to say you do it.
Big up, Dark Song G. Really appreciate it.
He looks so confident in there. He looks so confident. He looked like he was in his element in the middle of the back three, Dark Song G.
No, that he did. But big up, Dark Song G, brother. Really appreciate the support. Everyone keep smashing that like button, guys. Keep smashing that subscribe button. And feel free to get your super chats in and help support the channel. But look, Jack, who have we got next?
I do think we might be Lazy 8, I think it is, or Philip Brady, I believe it is. If Lazy 8's available, maybe we can put him on. It seems like he's got
Yep.
He's got Lego Kane in the building. We're seeing the beautiful interview from Harry Kane, the Lego version. But Nick, how you doing, my man? It's good to see you.
I'm chilling, man. You know how I feel about that guy, right? But I would like to express exactly how I feel about him through the medium of song, if you let me.
Whoa.
Return of the Mac. Harry, you told me you want to leave Tottenham. Return of the Mac. But I know you're top to bottom. All right, I got another one for you. Real quick that I've been waiting for. I want David to hear this. Are you familiar with the funk classic Mary Jane by Rick James?
No, probably.
I don't recognize
the
name.
Than us.
Here you go. Harry Kane. I'm in love with Harry Kane. He's my main man. In North London, he's the king. All the gooners run when they hear us sing. Sing it with me.
Harry Kane.
The man is back. The man is back to his best, man. He should have had 4 on that match. Should have been 6-1. It should have been 6-0 if Højbjerg wasn't so good at finishing with his back.
To be fair, actually, I feel like we've seen a lot of performances from Harry Kane where he probably should have had 3 or 4. To think about it. And finally, we've seen the elusive Harry Kane brace, which has finally come to us. Nick, feels like he keeps getting that solo goal, but never really hits us with the braces anymore. And finally, we were given
a slow build up for Harry. So
it is a slow build up. And so, is Harry Kane then? Is he going to maybe start banging in the braces and the hat tricks that we're maybe so used to?
The hat tricks next, but my prediction is he will average at least 1 goal a game for the rest of the season. That's my
Whoa. What a
Big
man.
prediction, Nick. Big prediction. Yeah, you sure Harry won't let you down? I know he never let me down, but you sure he won't let you down?
He never lets me down. You know,
he doesn't.
his barber never lets him down. He never lets me down.
No, I love that. I love that. Look, he was definitely back to his best. You could see it, you know. But it's his all-round game. It's his passing, his hold-up play. He's getting his finishing back now. And look, it's only a matter of time before we get that big H hat trick. Me personally, I believe he's saving it for the Wolves game, just so he can, run and celebrate the third one with me, Nick. What do you think?
He knows you're in the stands, man. He may not have tweeted you back yet, but his people know about you, man. I know that. I'm confident about that.
They definitely do. I tweet him every opportunity I get. You know, sometimes I could just be lying there and I'm like, I haven't tweeted Harry in a while. I better go and tweet and make sure he's all right. You know, absolutely love him. Absolutely love him. But Nick, what's your overall thoughts on the Brighton game? Romero, you know, absolutely brilliant. Emerson getting a goal. We haven't touched on Emerson today. You know.
Listen, man, I would. I have a very different opinion than a lot of people on players, and sometimes it's because of my lack of nous. But I really didn't see. I know Emerson's got crossing problems, but I've been saying since the beginning, man, you got to give this guy time. He's got a lot of skills that were lacking in his predecessors. Aurier and Trippier in particular. He's got the physicality. You know, Aurier had the physicality, but he can beat his man successfully. You know, it's what he does in the final third, and that needs work. I think he's got a long way to go, but you know, he's not a mistake. And we've been talking about mistaken acquisitions lately, but this guy is not a mistake. He just needs a little time to settle in. You know what? He reminds me a lot of Reguilon when he first started. A little reckless, not exactly sure of what he's doing at the time, but enthusiasm and ability.
Right, and seems to be a big team player as well, which I've noticed with Emerson. Big team player. He always, I swear, every time Harry Kane scores, it's always Emerson that seems to be sprinting right towards him, first every time. It's always Emerson that seems to greet the guy first. Even his own celebration, Dick, it was very humble. All he did was, just kind of sprint to the bench and get a, drink of water. And kind of just, show off his. I love the fact that he then just went on another sprint after that original sprint. I don't know. It's a good celebration, but he's maybe, like you say, then maybe that's another thing in common with Reguilon is he's a bit of a team player, like I think Reguilon always has been, and he's a bit kind of wild. He's a bit of a kind of a loose head, sometimes, but a good kind of loose head.
He brings a little bit of unpredictability, too. You're not exactly sure whether he's going to just kick the ball into Rosette or whether he's going to produce something. So we got to give him a little bit of time.
Yeah, for sure. Nick, what do you make of maybe, like, you even see some people criticizing Kulusevski very early, he's a donkey, he's slow, he's this, that, and the other. What do you make of the culture that I think is developing here, where, especially since the summer, that, every new signing we get in, we're very, very quick to get on their back.
Yeah, I think that's because we burned several times in the recent past. I don't know if you can see behind me there. Note to self: stop getting player names on shirts.
Yeah, especially number 10s. You're going to risk it with a creative midfielder. Everybody's calling out for the creative midfielder, Nick. But it's probably the riskiest kit to probably buy when you think about it. It's not going to be used.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think that Kulusevski definitely looked a little bit nervous. When his first touch, when he first started coming up the right side, he didn't seem like he knew exactly what to do. I think the difference between the two new acquisitions is very much positional. He kept looking like he was expecting his number 9 to be in a certain place, and he's not used to dealing with Kane yet. And Kane was dropping back, and he was looking forward for him. He had to wait up and see him coming up there. I noticed that a couple of times. So he needs to get in the groove of how the attack goes, as opposed to Bentancur, who knew exactly what he was supposed to be doing, and he did it. There's a little bit of gelling that needs to happen with Kulusevski. He's got that guy has got acres of talent, and he is exactly what we need in that position. I know we got a right winger in Lucas, but we need somebody who's versatile. We need somebody who can play in a number 10, which he can, who is a little bit two-footed. I know we didn't see that at the last match. We only saw the left foot, which everybody's getting down on. Everybody's calling him Kulusevski. I don't think anybody's actually called him that. I just called him that.
We're waiting for them to call him.
Right, but he can do, and apparently he can play up top too.
Yeah.
So we really, really need that. So he needs a little time to get in, and I think you can see with the games coming up, I can see him starting. Maybe not against Southampton, maybe not against City, but maybe after that, maybe against Wolves actually. And then, you know what, man, I've always preferred Lucas. He's got heart and he pulls out. He can grab a game, just by himself every once in a while. But I really like him off the bench more than I like him starting.
Interesting.
I think he's one of our few players in the last couple of years that can make a difference off the bench.
He's consistent off the bench. I actually would say.
You know what? I hate Sonny off the bench as much. I love Sonny every day. He's my favorite player, but I don't like him off the bench. I think he needs to get a rhythm. He needs to get into the game, and he needs to get the rhythm of the game.
Interesting, where Lucas
and
can
he
kind of
starts
just
building
start.
it up. Yeah. And I never like to see him off the bench. I'm hoping Bergwijn off the bench starts producing. That's what I'm hoping. You were
talking about earlier about someone who they've called Juventus kind of bench warmer. Another Juventus bench warmer or a suspected one, Bentancur. What did you make of him? Did you think he had an impressive sort of debut? I kind of thought he also maybe proved a lot of people wrong as well.
It was seamless. It was seamless. He, not only did he know what to do, he knew what to do in the last 20 minutes of the match. He wasn't afraid to get stuck in. He wasn't afraid to get that yellow card. He was there to mix it up and take the ball away, keep the ball, keep possession, and be a shithouse. And that's what we've been missing. Højbjerg starting. He can't do that for the full 90 minutes. We would love him to, and we squeezed blood out of a rock last season with him. We need somebody else that can do that job. I don't
seems
think
like we're trying to buy like 3 Højbjergs basically.
I mean, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you like 5 Kanes, a Son, 3 Højbjergs, and Lord? I don't think as high a ceiling as Skippy has, he isn't as rough as that yet. He's a little bit young. He doesn't have the experience Bentancur has. He's been there and done it and won a trophy. So I'm impressed. I'm with pretty much everybody else. I think he should be starting next alongside Højbjerg, without a doubt. Give Winks a rest. Let him. I don't know. Let him play the Joe Hart role for a little while. Get the cricket matches in.
Yeah, no, for sure. Jerome, big yourself up, man. It's good to have you back in. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you are keeping well, brother. And Nick, you can help us answer this one. He says, people that are criticizing Kulusevski are smoking booze. He says the Budge, I think is that actually is smoking Budge. The guy almost got 2 assists for this 28 minutes of game. I am sure he was instructed to calm and play down and not to rush forward, which he did. And that's a good point to consider. He could have easily ran at Brighton, given them the ball back, and then let them come and counter us and put us at risk. But he didn't. He slowed it down, and he played players in where he can and not lose it. Do you think Jerome is right here? That maybe I get what that fans wanted to see him maybe open up his legs and say, "Go on, son, show us what you've got." But at the same time, he has to take game management into account as well.
First game, he's only been there 4 days. 2 trainings, maybe something like that. It could very easily go wrong if he's trying to showboat. Didn't look like he wanted to. He was playing a little bit cautious, but playing smart. And he did. He had 2 very good balls into the box, which we haven't been seeing from the right-hand side, might add, in a while. Speaking of which, did you see Traore's assist?
No.
Of course.
I did.
Let's not talk about it. But we haven't been seeing the balls in from the right side in a long time. A good ball in from the right side. So that is hugely promising, man. This kid has got a very, very, very high ceiling. And he's got he's got the height we need too, especially. So,
Quickly, do you think, Stephen? I think he should have had an assist so bad that I probably would say that Bergwijn's sort of miss was probably the sitter of the season. I might say.
Yeah,
it's hard to think of a bigger sitter. I know, actually, to be fair, and I know David's not going to like this, but Harry Kane, I know has had one or two that were some pretty big ones.
Right. Even
But I would say Bergwijn's was worse. I would say Bergwijn's it was almost an open goal, I think, as well, because the keeper even was shuffling over to cover the post that he would have probably, slotted it into.
I'm
I
going
would
to
say
give him
maybe
the benefit of the doubt. A lot of people are saying, people who were there are saying it was bobbling. That was really tough to get a good touch on. It was on his left too.
Yeah.
He had to strike it with his left because it was coming in on the right. The same thing with the Kane goal, or with the Kane miss that he skied too, coming in on his left. Now, Harry, you usually guarantee, doesn't matter which side it's coming in from, he can do it. Bergwijn, I definitely have doubts on his left foot. So I was worried as it was coming in. It should have been, but it definitely, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Apparently 80 grand a week, you need to get 100 grand a week for them to bury that, I guess. So.
Right. It's an extra 20 grand to get good.
It's an extra 20 grand for them to bury that.
Big up Jerome, my man. I really do appreciate the support, brother. Really do appreciate it.
Hey man, so you know what? I'm just to make a cameo appearance. I don't want to keep the other guys too long. Anybody else is on there. But one thing I wanted to touch on real quick is I thought I was the only one, but I've heard people speaking on it a lot today and yesterday, which is frustrating because I thought I was the only genius there. But the Brian Hill move, man, I think it's the best possible thing for that kid. Man.
Interesting. Yeah, tell me. I kind of agree. Tell me about it.
I think there's two routes people are usually going on, and Conte kind of broke down my first one. He dismissed my first one, in that everybody's saying, okay, he needs to bulk up. He's a little bit too small for the league. Conte said it himself. I'm not so sure. Far be it for me to disagree with the man. Have you seen Brian Hill? I don't know if that kid's getting much bigger than that.
Yeah.
He's got to be hitting 5 Big Macs, the roids, and the gym 12 hours a day to get any bigger than he's getting.
Yeah.
The other thing is he should have stayed in England. Should have gone down to the championship. Should have gone to another Premier League team. The going down to the championship thing, sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes that goes bad. Sometimes it roughs them up too much. They get pissed off. They don't like they don't like the league that they're playing in. They get played out of position. Where are we going to? And the other question is too, where are we going to send them? Like, which club is going to play Brian Hill in the position we want them to play in consistently for 18 months? It's an 18-month. It's not a 6-month loan. It's an 18-month loan he has to Valencia. Now, Valencia, on the other hand, are now 11th. They were 10th before yesterday's draw, but they're now 11th. But they're only 6 points away from 4.
Yeah, it's a tight league.
It's a really tight, right? Very, very tight.
They're playing him regularly. They played him 290 minutes.
They're going to play him every single game that he's fit for. They're going to start him, and they're going to start him in the right position. The two positions they played him in were left wing, and they played him up top in a 4-4-2 yesterday. So on the left-hand side, because they are deficient on the left-hand side. They've been playing Jose Gaya, who's a left back, as left winger for part of the season because they're completely deficient over there. And he's whipping it up. So he's getting first team action on a regular basis with a slim, albeit, but a possibility of maybe the Conference League, of playing against teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona in the league, and then playing in Europe next year for 18 months. And the deal is it's called a dry loan, where there's no option to buy. There's no minimum. There's no obligations. So it's not like we don't want this guy. I don't think he needs to bulk up. I don't think he needs to get used to the culture. I think he needs goals and assists. He needs numbers. That's what he needs.
I think he needs lots. Yeah. I completely agree, Nick. I think he just needs lots of minutes, and where those minutes come from, I don't think really matter at the end of the day. I just think he just needs to be given lots of minutes. With those minutes come lots of confidence. With that confidence comes maybe that ability to be able to play in the Premier League. I think, honestly, when you even look at the cameos he had for Spurs, it's not like he really had a game where you're like, God, Brian Hill really stunk. You never really would say that. So 9
out of the 10 appearances, I think we saw him. Everybody was like, well, at least he was doing something. At least also he was giving it. He was giving it his all. he has the ambition and he has the drive. So that's there already. He needs first team experience. He needs to not be sitting on the bench somewhere and getting frustrated.
Yeah.
And then we bring him back in, hopefully. I mean, I think Conte is going to be here another 2 seasons. I would love it if it's more than that, then something's going very right. But I think it's going to be another 2 seasons. Maybe Brian Hill fits in after that because I don't think he fits into the Conte system unless Sonny's not playing and he's playing him on the left. But maybe that's the plan too. Maybe to blood him in eventually as Sonny gets older. I think there's a lot. Don't be surprised to see him wearing a cockerel, sometime soon at a theater near you.
So do you think he's Son's long-term replacement then, Nick?
I know that you said that you want to see him in a 10. I can see that. And if we're playing with a different manager, who plays with an attacking mid, then absolutely 100%. And especially if he's getting time in a major league where they're experimenting with him, not too much, but they can try him in a 10 and he gets some experience in. I could see that. I'm not sure though under Conte if he is the exact replacement for Son. We'll see. An older Brian Hill may be much more versatile.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. But you know what? You put that in my head now, Nick. That maybe is the long-term replacement for Sonny. You put that in my head now for sure. But anything else you want to touch on, my man?
No, man. That's it for me, man. I'm gonna sit back and watch the rest of the show.
Yeah, well, look,
Everybody
that wonders where the great thumbnails come from and everything else, well, there's the face to the name. It's good old Nick. I really appreciate it because a lot of people actually don't know what you really do for this channel, Nick. So I just want to say I appreciate it, man.
Oh, man, you're very welcome, man. And I'm just along for the ride, man. You guys make it real easy to work with, man.
Way too humble, my man. Awesome. Way too humble. But great calling, I must say, everybody. So everybody in the chat, do tell Nick, how much you enjoyed it, because I would say there's nothing you couldn't like about that performance. I would probably give it almost a Hoy Beer kind of performance, at least an 8 or a 9 out of 10, at least on the match day. That kind of performance on the call-in. But Nick, good to have you. Really thank you for all the work.
Big up the Harris Army. Big up the Flat Caps. Come on, you Spurs.
Big up, Nick. Big yourself up, brother.
What an absolute
What a send-off. What a send-off as well.
And he just ejects himself from the stream as well. You got to love that. What's the story? The old lad, he says, Bentancur could possibly be our best signing since Modric. The man looks silky, great movement and first touch. A real baller. Well, guys, if you want to know where I got my optimism and delusion from, there you have it. It's straight from the old lad. Look at that.
He didn't like Tanguy. It's good to see he likes Bentancur. It's good to see he likes Bentancur this time. Yeah, big up.
He hated Tanguy. He absolutely hated him. And look, he was proven right at the end of the day.
He'd absolutely proven right. Proven more than right.
Now you should listen to me more. But look, go and enjoy yourself with the mother this weekend. I know you are going away, so go and have fun. Leave Spurs in my hands. I'm going over there for the game, my man. But look, I think it's time. Just quickly, we'll give we have a quick plug to do, and it is Manscaped, everybody. 1 second, just get up that. So look, we just get straight into it. Roses are red, violets are blue. Don't let a wild pube wreck you. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and our sponsors at Manscaped are here for you. Before you take your partner away for that special Valentine's Day, why not make sure you prepare like a wise man once said, fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
Fail to prepare to fail. Exactly right, Dave. Ladies and gentlemen of the Irish Hotspur, it is the season of romance, and we just want to make sure that you're ready. With Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0, you'll have no stress with looking your best down under, everybody. The package includes the Lawnmower 4.0, the electric trimmer, which does come with advanced skin-safe technology that reduces cuts and nicks on your romantic jewels. It's so easy to use since it's waterproof, everyone, and it comes with a bit of a 4000K LED spotlight, which basically means, you're not going to find yourself in a Bergvine situation with, a bouncing ball in the middle of the 6-yard box. You're going to bury it. You're not going to be missing with the 4000K LED spotlight. But Dave, simply with that trimmer, you just can't miss.
No, you definitely can't miss. And the performance package, it also comes with a weed whacker, which is a nose and ear hair trimmer. And if you didn't think this package could get any better, Manscaped include their very own ball toner and deodorant to keep them boys smelling fresh all day long.
Absolutely, Dave. Absolutely. But as well, I mean, probably one of my favorite things, Dave, is that, it comes with this beautiful travel bag. I mean, I will say, everybody, I've always kind of had a pretty bad shave kit that I've taken with me on vacations. This is a beautiful travel bag that Manscaped do give you just for free with the full performance package as well, Dave. It does come with a nifty kind of pair of boxers, and actually they're anti-chafing boxers that already, Dave, kind of like that new signing, like that Bentancur Kulusevski signing, are easily my favorite boxers already in the entire drawer as well. And don't forget, Harris Army, that Manscaped also want to help you look good and smell good in other areas with their signature scented refined cologne as well. And then, David, that you can get 20% off plus free shipping with the code FLATCAP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code FLATCAP. Dave, you're on mute. Sorry. Been on mute.
Oh, my bad. And Manscaped have created products for nights just like this Valentine's Day night. This is what their products are all about. They just want to help you guys out there for your partners. And join Cupid and shoot your arrow with Manscaped this Valentine's Day. So everybody do get over and use that code FLATCAP. I know so many have. And get your orders in for that special weekend away. But look, we'll keep on moving now. Keep on absolutely moving on. And we'll start getting on the next guest. And the next guest, I believe, is Mr. Brady. Philip, how we keeping, my man?
I'll tell you, lads. Trying to follow that ad is like putting a band on when Bruce Springsteen just finished. It's nearly impossible.
It's good, isn't it? It's good.
Very good, very good. Yeah, I'm good, lads. Yeah, a confession to make. Would you believe, I didn't actually get them to see the match live on Saturday because my other half had booked tickets for a gig that started at 8:00 in a place that was very little internet coverage.
No.
And she warned me before the match, don't you be reaching in for your phone every 5 minutes. So I didn't. I just held it in my hand for the whole time, But technically, I wasn't going against her, But I only got the scores at half time and at the end. It was horrible, I barely remember who was playing. I was trying to how they're getting on now,
Yeah.
Anyway, it was worth it in the end.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Just quickly, Ganesh Prabhu says, Jack, I would love us going back to Leverkusen and bring another winger, Diaby, as successor to Son.
I'd love to have Moussa Diaby, but I spoke about that with Darius today, Ganesh. I'm not sure if you saw it, but I did say that on the second channel that, I mean, if I know that Paratici's rating the Serie A, but he really should be rating probably Bayer Leverkusen. I mean, that whole team, I'd probably take lots of really talented players over there. I'd take Moussa Diaby. I'd take Paulinho from there. I'd take Florian Wirtz. I believe there's even another player I probably could be missing. They just got, Patrick Schick, Sardar Azmoun, tons of beautiful players at Bayer Leverkusen. I would take almost all of them, my man. Big up, Ganesh. Really appreciate it. And hopefully you can see what I was saying on the second channel after this.
Big up, Ganesh. Absolute legend. Really appreciate the support, brother. Really do. But, Philip, what do you mean? I presume you watched the Brighton game when you got home.
I saw the match. I saw the replay of it later, But
what's your thoughts on the game, and how do you think the debutants come on?
I think first half, really, that's what you like to see. Up and at them from the first minute. No sitting back, get at them. Okay, the second half wasn't quite as good. But there was, to have Romero back was massive. And to see Bentancur coming on for the second half. I can see maybe what Conte's aiming at here. If you look at the way this is working, the spine of the team now is going to be Lloris in goal, Romero in the centre back, Bentancur in the midfield, and the wonderful Harry Kane up front. And I have to say, maybe I'm seeing things, but I think Harry Kane looks to be in the best physical condition I've ever seen him in at the moment. He absolutely, he looked like he was carrying a few pounds there when Nuno was around. But I'll tell you one thing, he's not carrying them anymore. Yeah. He is as sharp as a pin at the moment. And, and he's got a smile on his face again. He's obviously liking what's going on at the club. And
he does.
The
Did you hear
half-hearted
his interview?
spell.
Did you hear his interview about Conte?
What's that, David?
Did you hear his interview when he was asked about Conte?
Yes.
He was saying he's very happy at the club and all.
Yeah. No, that was great. That was absolutely wonderful, you know. But yeah, it was a good performance. Okay, I think I would blame their goal on, apart from the deflection, nobody should be let run across the whole length of your penalty area, the whole width of the penalty area. Yeah. Somebody should have nailed him, whether it was Winks or Højbjerg or whatever. But like, and one thing I'll just say too, like the shot was deflected. I don't know whether the shot was going in or not. I never saw an angle to show whether it was on target or not. But everyone was very quick to give an own goal to Emerson's shot. Emerson's cross barely deviated in direction. It might have gone up a bit higher, but it was actually pretty much in a straight line. So I think he's very hard done by there. He should have been given that goal. You know, that's what, you know.
That's pretty crazy. I would love to hear that, actually, Philip. And maybe just to
again, it does not deviate more than a couple of degrees.
He celebrated like it was his anyway, Philip.
Oh, he didn't. He what? Wasn't it brilliant? Great celebration, you know.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think one thing that did annoy me on Sunday morning, getting up and reading some fans dissing Kulusevski. I mean, God almighty, the fella had 20 minutes on his debut. What do you expect? You know, I think he'll be a great asset. Like he should have had his first assist. I mean, Bergwijn should not have missed that chance that he skied over the bar, you know. So I think let's just say top 4 is definitely ours for the grabbing at the moment, because look at the state United are in at the moment. Look at the state Arsenal are in. You know, West Ham wait till the 93rd minute to equalise against the mighty Kidderminster, and then go off celebrating as if they've won the bloody FA Cup. You know, I mean, God almighty. You know, as the comparison was made, look what happened when Bergwijn scored the equaliser against Leicester. Straight into the net, get the ball back down the halfway line. Dan, whatever you call him, Rice, doing his Michael Jackson impersonation in front of the fans. You know, come on.
Oh, Philip, I'm so glad you noticed that. I actually thought that was one of the most, you know, Philip, I think they have a word in German for it. I think it's like, you know, Fraudenscheuder or something. It's like, you know, this like, or Fremdschämen or something. It's like, it's this word where it's like the feeling of embarrassment, like just by watching that, like, you know, you're not even in the room, but you're just, when you watch Declan Rice celebrate that after equalizing against a non-league team.
Against a team in the 6th tier of the league. I mean, let that sink in. It wasn't
and he's celebrating.
Team, a League 1 team, a League 2 team. It was a team from a league nobody's probably even heard of. And there they go. They're in a few seconds of beating them. And again, a few seconds of taking them to penalties. You know, but that's enough about West Ham. I mean, affect them. They're crap.
They treated it like a trophy, Phil. And that's, I think, all that shows us. They treated it like a trophy. The way they were celebrating.
Just quickly, Philip. Any chance you'd be at the West Ham game with myself and Jack? No, I know how much you'd hate them.
This is me for the season on Sunday now. I think that's it. I don't think I can make it over again, you know. But just one thing, can I just refer back to something Nick said in the previous interview? Now, I could be wrong here, but I think Brian Hill's loan is only till the end of the season. It's not an 18-month loan. Now, I could be wrong there, but anywhere I've read it, it's been to the end of the season. So maybe that's worth checking out to see what the actual term is. You know, I would actually like to see him back next season. In fact, I wasn't really mad about him going in the first place, as you know. But, you know, I think we're a bit too generous giving him for 18 months, if that's the case, you know.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And another thing, too, can any club in Britain or in any league, really, go like this? We have a World Cup winner in Hugo Lloris. We have an Asian Cup winner in Papa Sarr, even though he hasn't come to us yet, or an African Cup winner.
Yeah.
We have an Asian Cup winner in Son, and we have a Copa American winner in Christian Romero. We have the set, the 4 main competitions in world football, and each one of those teams has a Spurs player in it.
Do you think we can use that then as a springboard to go on and bring the club some success?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, okay. We've had ups and downs this season. We've gone from optimism at the start, despair in the middle, bit more despair in the around when Nuno got the sack. Now we've got probably one of the top 3 managers in the world here, and he is working the oracle there. He has got this team buzzing, and we've got 2. Okay, we probably could have done with another player or 2 in the window. That'll happen in the summer. But we have enough players in that squad, good players, experienced, the likes of what do you call him, Bentancur. He is he is a regular starter for Juventus up to this season. That guy knows he's a winner, and he's got the right mentality. And so is Kulusevski, if you can believe what Paratici says. So I think we've got everything going for us now to become top 4. With Harry Kane back on the goal train again, and Son, once himself and Son get going, I mean, our front 3 on their day are unstoppable.
Yeah.
And what we need to do now is get the other end of it right. And with Romero back, there's an awful lot is going to happen with him. There'll be no more silly mistakes. Well, hopefully no more silly mistakes. And I mean, I'm expecting 2 wins, and I'm especially hoping the big win comes on Sunday when we're over there.
Yeah,
and,
I hope so.
Hat-trick for you, David.
I hope so. Hopefully he comes and pulls me out of the crowd as well. I'd absolutely love it. Honestly, I can't wait. I just can't wait to get inside the stadium. I've been there twice, and both times outside the stadium.
Yeah.
I just want to get in there and hear it in full voice.
It's incredible. I mean, you'll just go wow when you see the place. It's just, I always got the same reaction going into White Hart Lane, standing up and looking down that pitch. You get the wow factor. This is wow by 10. Wow by 10. Yeah, it's incredible.
Well, the missus wrote to the club asking them to put the Irish Hotspur up on the screen. So we'll see whether they oblige or not. We'll see. She wrote a message. She asked them to kind of put up on the screen, big shout out to the Irish Hotspur and the Irish lads travelling over. So,
but David, I was watching that screen the last time I was over at the Norwich match, and they do thank various supporters clubs on the screen.
Yeah,
and various people that write in, happy birthday to such and such and that.
Yeah,
so there's every chance to do it. Let's just hope we're watching it when it happens.
Let's hope I'm inside. Let's hope I'm still standing to get in the stadium for them, Philip, first.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm absolutely buzzing. I can't wait. It's going to be a long day, but I'm definitely buzzing for it. But we have to get over Southampton first, Philip. I mean, do you think we get over Southampton easy, or do you think it's going to be a lot harder than we expect?
I don't think there's any easy matches, But I think we've got to make the new stadium a fortress. And let's face it, apart from Chelsea, we're pretty much doing that at the moment. Leave them out because Chelsea have some sort of jinx over us. Southampton are a decent enough side, but I mean, we shouldn't be fearing anybody now. We really should not be fearing anybody. And Conte has drilled that into them. I think that was the problem under Nuno. We went out against teams with an inferiority complex, not just the team, the fans as well. We were dreading some of these matches under Nuno. Mm-hmm. That's not the case now. We should have beaten Liverpool. Okay, we'll forget about Chelsea because they've a jinx on us. Yeah. An acid test is going to be the match after the next two is when we play Man City. If we can go up to Man City and get a point even, that will be a huge statement to make. Because let's face it, nobody or very rarely does anybody go up there and come away with anything but a cup of tea at half time.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a big one. But no, I'm very, very confident we're going to get top four. And even yesterday, I was listening to Irish radio, one of the radio stations here, and they were talking about the FA Cup draw. And the guy, the comment is, something, he says, I've got a sneaking suspicion this is Spurs' year for the FA Cup.
Wow. Good man.
So when you hear little things like that, this would be a guy now who knows his stuff. So, let's just hope that we can get it, And
especially others giving Spurs praise. I mean, that doesn't come very often as well, Philip.
No.
So
not in Ireland either.
No. I mean, if you're not Liverpool, Man United, or Liverpool or Man United,
they must really mean it then. Yeah, that's I guess I'm saying, Philip. They must really mean it then.
Yeah. And I know it's going to be a very interesting couple of months, and I'm very, very confident. And I think we're gonna. We've always said it. Some team is going to get an absolute battering from us soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of that,
we could have had 6. We could have had 6 against Leicester. We should have had 6. We could have had 6 against Brighton. So someday everything's going to fall into place. The shots that go with the bar are going to go under the bar, and we are going to have a field day. And I hope to God it's Sunday.
Speaking of that, though, Philip, what do you make them? Because we have actually huge depth in attack. That's actually probably the areas we have the most depth in. We have Kulusevski, Bergwijn, Lucas Moura, Kane, Son. I mean, it's 5 players of like kind of immense quality that we can like put on. I mean, you almost have 3 players like sitting on the bench at times that are ridiculous that you can put on.
It's an embarrassment of riches, which means like, okay, say Kane and Son aren't having the best of games. Rotate them, take Son off and bring on Bergwijn or bring on Kulusevski. You know, we've got the firepower there to do that, and it's just and I don't think Conte will ever fall into the trap of going too gung ho, you know, of doing the Aussie idealist trick of you know, playing 5 forwards. I don't think that will ever happen, but we certainly have enough. Like we've enough pace and enough skill in that forward that to scare the living daylights are the better teams than Wolves and Southampton. So you know, I would say that we're going to have the problem we're going to have again in those 2 games. They're going to sit back, 9 men behind the ball, and it's up to us now to get the craft and the ingenuity to get through those lines, because that has been a problem in the past. You know, it's actually breaking down teams that come in and sit. I actually hope those 2 teams come out and come at us, because then we'll murder them on the break. We'll murder them on the counter.
Yeah. And that we are that sort of team anyways. Absolutely, Philip. Beautiful.
And look, the bottom dude with the super chat says Bentancur. Is Bentancur maybe the man to break down these teams?
Everybody's loving him, Philip. Everybody loves him.
I think so. I mean, of the 2 signings, okay, he was the one I was most happy with, because the guy is he's a proven baller. You know, he's a good player, good solid player, knows his way around, and plus he's been in the Italian league long enough to know how to do a lot of shithousery, to do the nasty stuff off the ball, because we don't want to be treated as a soft touch. We want to be getting stuck into teams, you know, and hopefully the referee doesn't see what's going on and we get away with it. But you know, I just think that the next 2 matches, we win them, we're in top 4. Because United seem to be in disarray. Yeah. I just read somewhere tonight that over the last 10 years, Man United have taken the greatest hit on transfer losses of any team in the major leagues. And Arsenal are 5th.
Jeez, we've got to be close to that soon.
Well, Arsenal lost 583 million. United lost over $1 billion. That's from buying players and selling players on, you know. So I didn't see Spurs mentioned in it. I'm sure they're there somewhere, you know.
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Definitely don't want them sort of losses hanging over us for sure, Philip.
Yeah.
But look, Philip, anything else you want to talk about before we let you go, my man?
No, I mean, I'm just saying, can't wait for Sunday. It's going to be great to meet up with all you guys, and you know, let's make our presence felt over at the greatest stadium in the world.
Love it. Love it.
For sure, I will be. And
the brigade.
Ryanair won't know what hit them.
You know what? I'm looking forward to meeting you, Philip, because we haven't actually met in person yet.
No.
You know, I'm really looking forward to meeting you, my man, and we'll certainly have a good time. That's for sure.
Indeed. So if you see at 4:30 in the morning in Terminal 1 Dublin Airport.
No better time to meet. With
the flat caps, you know, we're going to be walking through with the flat caps.
I'll be bringing mine with me. Yeah.
We'll be walking through with the flat caps on, and they'll be like, "What's going on here, guys?"
I think the Peaky Blinders have arrived.
Oh, stop, my man. But look, you know, Philip, big yourself up, and I'll be in contact because I want to get you back on this week. So
yeah, no problem, David. Give me a shout anytime.
Will do, my man. Will do.
Good night, Jack.
Big up, Philip. Good to see you. Good to have you on, my man.
Go on, you Spurs. What an absolute legend Philip is, guys. Good to have him back on. Shawnee, I know you were waiting in the background. You are the last.
And so was Dan. Dan THFC, Daniel, who we know as well, you know, young Daniel as well. So he was in there too. He dipped out. So Sean or Dan, maybe in the next few minutes, if one of you guys wants to pop on, feel free to do so, because if not, then we will end the show, everybody. But we will maybe go through big comments. A lot of people really loved Philip. Honestly, Philip did great. Dermot did spectacular. Everybody does spectacular. I guess no Ben Kaufman today. I guess we didn't go see Ben Kaufman today. Hope you're doing well, Ben. But yeah, Sean and or Dan, if you guys want to hop back on, feel free to do so. We were about to bring you on. If not, maybe in the next minute or two, then I guess, Dave, then we'll just end the show. But to Bottom Duda in here with another super chat. Pick yourself up to Bottom, saying, do you think Kulusevski should start considering Southampton Do you think Kulusevski should start considering Southampton is going to sit back and defend, or basically should we consider Kulusevski for Southampton? Romero needs to stop Kyle Walker-Peters from shooting. This is kind of interesting. Two kind of things to break down here. Kulusevski, maybe I'll give this to Dave. Do you play Kulusevski versus Southampton, Dave? I mean, maybe you want to start still with Lucas or Bergwijn potentially for the next one, but do you play Kulusevski maybe in that 3-4-3 on the right-hand side with Sonny and Kane?
Do you know what? I would actually prefer to start him. Like, when you look at it, he probably created more opportunities in that 28 minutes, half an hour than what Lucas Moura did.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I just don't see Conte starting him. I think you'll see Lucas starting this game. But I definitely think Kulusevski will be in for a start from in the Wolves game.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just have that feeling. I just have that feeling that Conte will keep Lucas Moura involved, give him another run out against Southampton, and if it's maybe not the best of performances, Kulusevski comes on, and then he also starts against Wolves. Then, in my opinion, what do you think, Jacko?
I kind of agree with what Jordan Stevens just said here in the comments. Like, Southampton maybe might not sit back as much as we think, and the only reason Southampton sat back was because they got a red card. When you do think about it, so
yeah,
maybe I feel like you do play Lucas. I would play Bergwijn. I think Bergwijn has been playing well. I do kind of want to see him maybe be given a start. Perhaps he's actually best for that 3-5-2 Bergwijn when Sonny isn't available. But maybe we move on to the next part of Duda's super chat here, where Romero needs to stop Kyle Walker-Peters from shooting. Kyle Walker-Peters, he plays that kind of inverted sort of left wing back sometimes for them. He'll play right wing back. He'll play left wing back. He's actually kind of a bit of everything for them. He's almost kind of like a poor man's kind of Joao Cancelo, you might say, actually, to a degree for them. He does a lot, going forward for Southampton, is a very smart and intelligent player for them. Will Romero be responsible for him? I wouldn't really expect him to be, but will there be a moment where he puts him on the floor like he did Tarek Lamptey? I would like to think so, Duda, but big yourself up, my man.
Yeah, look, I think, as soon as Romero gets a chance, he smashes him. And Kyle Walker, I think twice about coming inside again for another shot. But the Bolton Duda, really do appreciate the support, my man.
Big up, Duda.
Big yourself up. What an absolute legend. Bentancur. I know you're a man, my man. What an absolute legend. But look, it's time to bring on the next guest. It's one that everybody loves. He's a regular on the channel, permanent fixture. Let's get him on. He's all the way from Spurs Talk Show. He has the best catchphrase in the business when it comes to game day, and he has the most evil laugh I've ever heard of, but it's addictive. Let's get him on. And it is my man, Sean, from Spurs Talk Show, and I am just running to the Jacks quickly. I'll be back in 1 second.
How are you guys? How are you, Jack?
Doing well, Sean. What's brought you on, Sean? Maybe, we were doing the watch along together, kind of an easy watch along for us. Maybe
it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me with my TV.
Oh, that's right. Actually,
I have ordered a new TV, so it's being delivered on Wednesday morning. So hopefully I'll have enough time to stick it up and get the HD ready, so I can pick the players out next time.
What's worse, being 10 seconds behind or not being to tell who is who on the screen? I would say probably your situation, maybe a bit worse, worse.
Well, it just sounds bad, but the whole way through, I'm like, I think that was Harry Winks, but I'm not entirely sure.
It could be Højbjerg. Could be Højbjerg. Who knows? Yeah. Southampton and Wolves. Let's just get straight to it. Southampton. Yeah. Last time, you and I were kind of doing the watch along together for that one. It was a really frustrating sort of performance where they got that red card nice and early. You and I were just celebrating it as if we had kind of won. And we didn't pull out. We didn't pull out, the 3 points. Do you think it'll be different this time versus Southampton?
I can't imagine Salisu's going to be as clumsy this time around. He's super clumsy, and Izhan always tries to correct me because I've got this impression in my head that Salisu is a clumsy nightmare. But Izhan always tells me he's a really good player, Sean. He's a really good player, and he'd like us to sign him at Tottenham. But
I didn't know that he would like us to sign him. I thought he was just giving him a bit of respect. He wants us to sign him. That takes it a bit step further.
Yeah, he's got a lot. He's got a lot of love for that guy. And
There you go. There you go.
So yeah, I don't think that will happen again. But listen, I think Southampton, at least in the short term past, Southampton, when we were struggling to get the game over the line, Southampton seemed to, they almost like wrote the template for other teams to how other teams to play against us, to frustrate us, to sit back, and they dug in really well at Southampton, and frustrated and suffocated the life out of us. And, like I always say, sometimes going down to 10 men, everyone thinks that if you're playing against 10 men, that suddenly if you don't win the game, then, what the hell's gone wrong? But sometimes it brings the team that have gone down to 10 men to another level of doggedness. And Southampton were a perfect example of that against us. I don't want to see that happen again. I'd rather see. Well, I don't mind if it happens. I won't. I don't think you'd always rather play against 10 men than 11. But like I say, I just think that this time around, we've had a bit more time with Conte. We've got the new team. We've got Bentancur. We've got Kulusevski. We've got our players back: Romero, Sonny, full strength team apart from Skippy. And I'm under no doubts at all, Jack, that we're gonna romp home. I think we should. I mean, I know they drew against Man City, but they got beaten by, was it Everton? A couple of who did they lose to?
Southampton.
Wolves.
Let's check on
Wolves.
that. Yeah,
yeah. They lost to Wolves in the league in the middle of January. They obviously lost to Southampton in the. They beat Coventry in the cup, but
they lost to Wolves. You're correct, and they did also, though. They do maybe second question then here, Sean. They do actually seem to show up maybe against the bigger teams. They had that draw against City very recently. Of course, they had that draw against us. I believe they've actually had 2 good results against City this season. They might have as well had another good result against Chelsea at one stage, if I'm remembering correctly, or at least
they beat
close
West Ham.
to a good. Yeah, they beat West Ham, so it seems like they play well against the bigger teams. Hassan Hoodle, is that maybe worry you a little bit?
I mean,
I'm trying to worry you as hard as I can, but you can deflect them as best you can. Deflect each one.
Honestly, Jack, over the last 24 hours, I've gone into peak delusion mode. I am thinking now, I'm not worried about 4th. I'm tracking down 3rd, maybe even an outside chance of something better than that. We were talking the other day, I think it was last night, we were talking about how many points we can get from the next 5 games. And Dave said 15. Most of the other guys said 12, maybe 13 at a push. And then if you think about how many points we have and how many points we probably need to get 4th in a season where it looks similar to how it does this season. Historically, you'd need something like 68 points when you've got a couple of teams that are flying away with it, or 3 teams that are so much better. We probably need 67, 68, 69 points to get 4th, and we've already got 35 or 36, and we're going to get 15 according to Dave in the next 5 games. And I couldn't agree more. If there was more points on offer, I'd be saying we're going to get them. But unfortunately, the max we can take is 15. That's how pumped up I am.
If you were in peak delusion, you would have said 16, even though we can only get 15.
Well, I think we are. I think we're just going to romp home. It's not even going to be a problem. And that 15 points from 5 games, Jack. It starts on Wednesday night against Southampton. I'm not worried about them at all.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to having you on for that one. Big yourself up, Sean. But maybe, final question before I kind of let Dave in. We saw Romero have such an elite performance, Sean, in the middle of that back 3. Yeah. Do you let Eric Dyer straight in right away? Because Eric Dyer, he can't play on the right-hand side of that back 3. You would have to shove over Romero. Do you think that's a big deal that we shove over Romero? Or do you think maybe Sanchez keeps his spot and you keep Romero in the middle? How do you feel about it?
I think it's a moot point for Wednesday. I think I've already seen, I don't know if it's confirmed, but I've seen from a couple of sources on Twitter this evening that Dyer, Skip, and Tanganga are all still out for Wednesday night. So, I think it's as we were likely, maybe the only change you might see is Winksy gets taken out and Bentancur starts. Apart from that, I don't think Kulusevski will get a start. But in terms of Romero, I think he stays where he is, and I think Sanchez stays where he is because I don't think Dyer or Tanganga are back. So, I think the back stays as it is, and I've got no concerns with that. As for the next game against Wolves, if Dyer's back, I don't know. I feel like you have to. like I said, we had this conversation many times on this channel
Does
about whether
Dyer
or not
get straight back into
No,
the
well,
team?
that's yeah.
Throw Kane between the back line.
Romero's in now. Romero's won his place, and it's up to if Dyer wants his spot back. I think Sanchez or somebody else has to drop the ball, and the only person I can see that happening to is if Sanchez drops the ball, then Romero could fall back out to the right and Dyer could come back in centre. But at the moment, I don't think there's any need for that to happen. So I'm happy with the back three as it is.
Yeah, for sure. Look, a lot of people, including myself, we do think Bentancur will start. But do you think we could be surprised here and that maybe he's not up for the full 90 minutes yet, and that we could see Skip or we could see Winks and Højbjerg rolled out again?
Yeah, could do. Look, I think we'd all love. I think everybody was, their eyes were kind of lit up at Bentancur. I think that everyone would like him to start. He just kind of took to it like a duck to water. Took to the Premier League or to at least the to the English game like a duck to water on Saturday. And I feel like there's no reason why you wouldn't think that he started. I didn't think Winks had a great game. So for me, Højbjerg and Bentancur should get the go. I don't mind if Conte wants to do it the same as he did before. Leave Bentancur on the bench and give him a bit of time. But for me, I think he's more than ready, more than comfortable, and I'd be even more secure of the 3 points if he did start. But I'm still confident we're going to win, even if Winksy and Højbjerg take the midfield too.
Yeah. And Shawnee, I don't know whether you read the reports or not during the week about maybe potentially Tottenham being up for sale. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the club, every club's up for sale if the price is right. I don't think that there's any. I don't think that there's any. Everything has a price, but I don't think anyone. I've said this 1,000 times. I don't think there's anyone out there, or the list of people. When you look at the price that it'd have to be, and then you look at the people that might be able to afford that. The oil companies, they're not going to be out like most. There's only about 5. I think people forget there's only about 5 or 6 oil families from Saudi Arabia or from Dubai that have that money, right? It's not like it's spread across 1,000 Saudi Arabian fellas, right? It's their families. And there's already 2 of those are already owning either Manchester City or owning Newcastle, right? So I don't think you're going to be able to find Saudi money. I don't know about Russian money. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but we haven't heard anything about that. All the noise that we have heard is about American money. And I don't particularly, like I say, pick your poison. If you can find someone that wants to pay the money, I don't think that's an easy task. I don't think Tottenham is as valuable as Daniel Levy and the ENIC, Joe Lewis think it is. But even if you could find it, I'm not necessarily in favour of just a buyout for a buyout's sake to appease fans, because the oil money comes with its own set of problems with human rights. So does the Russian money and the American money. If it comes with leverage buyouts, it comes with a whole another set of consequences that, all of the debt would just be put against the stadium anyway. So it's not like, it's just not as clear cut. So you know how I feel, mate. I'm happy. I'm happy with where we are as a club. I'm happy with the progress. I'm happy with the journey. Yeah. I don't feel the same as a lot of people about Daniel Levy and ENIC. So I'm happy. I don't think it will happen. If it does happen, well, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. That's all I'll ever say about it.
No, that's fair enough, my man. Fair enough. Just thought I'd get your quick thoughts on it. That was all.
Levy's stunt double though. Steve Hitchen has been sacked though. Do you feel like with Steve Hitchen gone, is that going to be like something we'll notice like 3 years from now? We'll kind of just be like, maybe. Things have really changed around here, maybe since Steve Hitchen has been gone. Do you think that could be the case? Or have we kind of maybe over dramatized maybe the impact or the halt that he's put on our progress?
I don't think we have, mate. I think if anything, we probably given the cutting words that Conte said in the press conference, regarding it was strange that we had to loan 4 people out. But you know what? That says more about the mistakes, the previous mistakes.
Yeah.
Like that those kind of words. When I first read them, I was like, well, I don't understand what I couldn't figure out what he was trying to say. But then, after the dust has settled, you can tell that he's just basically throwing Hitchen under the bus and saying that the club has been run in terms of the transfer policy. It's been absolutely awful in terms of the academy, in terms of the scouting. It's been absolutely a shocking shit show. for however long Hitchin's been there. And I think that this window is the first window that Hitchin didn't have his paws all over. We also, I think some of us believe that maybe Daniel Levy even stepped back a little bit and allowed Paratici to do his thing. And look at the progress that's happened in in the last 30 days. You know, getting the 2 players in that we're all excited about, getting the 4 players out. The noise about the scouting's changed. I think maybe we'll look back in 3 years' time and think, why the fuck didn't we do that sooner? Like Hitchin was like holding us back, and we didn't realize it. Maybe because he was such a nice guy, right? Maybe because all of the noise was like, oh, everybody loves Steve Hitchin from the top to the bottom. All the players, all the backroom staff, all the coaches, all the players, everybody loves the guy. He's obviously a very likable person, but sometimes that you allow people that you like to get away with murder because you have a warm place for them or a soft spot for them in your heart. And Paratici's come in, Conte's come in and probably gone, right, no, this is absolute dog shit. We're going to have to kind of lean on him a little bit. He's walked away, and immediately we're having some success. Immediately we're having like a clear out that we haven't seen. It's like a spring clean. You know, like when you go into like, I'm going to be doing it in March. I'll be doing it going into the cupboard, throwing out all the shit that I'm not going to be wearing, that I've been hanging on to for a while. We just did that in January rather than in March. And I think that, to answer your question, Jack, I think that Hitchin's going to be... We
actually will notice the...
Yeah,
you know,
but it won't be one of those things where we've overstated how much he's done. I think we understated how important it was to get rid of him. And I think now we have, so it's good times.
Yeah, for sure. And Sean, we hear a lot about the scouting department being ripped up and remodeled. What exactly about it needs to be improved, do you think?
Oh, mate, I mean everything. I feel like so there's a phrase that I'm used to saying in finance, which is called being mugged by the ignorant. When you can do all the research in the world and you can make the best trade, but because of other people, but there's a weight behind, more volume of people or a lot more effort goes into the other side of the trade, even though they might be wrong about the idea, you end up losing because there's more weight behind the wrong side of the trade. And I think the same thing is true with the scouting network at Tottenham. I think we are the ones that are ignorant, and as a fan base, we're being mugged by the ignorance of our scouts. I genuinely think when they go out and buy players, in the past at least, people like Ndombele, Jack, you always talk about it. Ndombele on paper looks like a technical beast, right? But no one was doing the research into what's his character like, what's his family like. Is he someone that you can trust? Is he someone that's going to work hard? And I think there's a few, 2 or 3 or 4 players that you could point to recently, and if you go back a little bit as well, that have all had those things where technically it makes sense, but in reality it doesn't, because the players, the scouts haven't done their due diligence to the right level. Right. It looks to me like sometimes they hear a bit of noise through their connections. Oh, this guy who's coming out of this country or this club, he looks handy. They'll watch the highlight reel. They might send a couple of scouts over to watch that player play in the big game. Like Ndombele played fantastically well against the best teams that he ever played against at Lyon. But did we go and watch him when he played against the worst teams? Yeah. Probably not. Did we watch him when he was playing against the average teams? Probably not. And I think that lack of clarity, that lack of due diligence, where everyone can turn on the form for the best when they're playing against the best game or the best teams for the biggest day of their life. Everyone can turn that stuff on, but you really you can judge someone not by their highlights, but their lowlights, when no one's watching, you know? And that's what a scout should be doing, right? A scout should be out there judging someone, not just against the Barcelonas, but against the people that are getting relegated from Ligue 1. And I don't know if the scouts are doing that. So that's why I think that our scouts, the mugged by the ignorant, I think our scouts are ignorant. They'll just look at some tape, they'll listen to some feedback, and they'll go and watch the highlight reel, and then they'll say, this guy's good enough. And in the end, we end up losing out because we haven't gone and figured out what's the guy like as a personality. All of the stuff that the intangibles that you can't really tell. And I think that's why our scouting network needs a massive overhaul. And hopefully Paratici is gonna handle that for us.
Yeah, I really do hope so, because it's once we get our first team straightened out, that's going to be absolutely crucial to maintain that level under Conte once we get the first team properly sorted out, for sure. The Bolton Dude says, do you blame Levy, Hitchin or the previous managers for the recruitment in the past? I feel Conte meant the previous managers too. Spurs did spend. Look, I think we'll all have a quick say on this. Look, for me, I said it the other day. I think it was on your channel, Shawnee. I'm not sure who or whose channel it was on, but you know, I absolve all the managers from the blame. To be honest, I look at Pochettino. I look at Mourinho and Conte. They all kind of said the same words. I'm asking for this. They were bringing in this. You know, I'm coach. I'm not a manager. I blame the poor recruitment for Pochettino sacking in the end. To be honest with you, I blame the poor squad for Jose Mourinho sacking. And look, Nuno was Nuno. I think that was just bring him in. If it works out, we look good. If it doesn't, well then we'll just get in Conte. So, but then look, Hitchin, I think for me has to take a massive proportion of this blame. I think, you know, you look at the signings he's got in. He's bought in 19 players, over 300 million worth of players, and you could say 6 of them worked out. And out of them 6, none of them have been absolutely outstanding either. So I think, you know, Hitchin really did get us into a pickle. I think it was just getting to the point where he was just chasing his tail and he couldn't get it sorted. But then obviously, you know, Levy has to take blame for employing Hitchin and probably letting it go on for so long. Maybe he should have seen it sooner, you know, and he didn't fire him, so he has to take blame there, in my opinion. But Jack, what's yours? And then we'll get Sean.
I'm with you, Dave. You just can't blame any of the previous managers. I hate to say it, I don't even think you can blame Nuno very much. I think you can blame Nuno for not bringing you any sort of exciting football, but also with him as well. Like, it's just like we just put him in a situation to fail, and like he failed. You know, big surprise. And then with the rest of the managers as well, Dave, I feel like they can't be blamed. Levy and Hitchin, it's kind of this symbiotic relationship of Levy makes Hitchin's job extremely difficult and makes it more difficult than it should be. Hence why people like Paul Mitchell left. Hence why, you know, a lot of directors of football didn't want to work with us originally. So that must be said first. I think, though, at the same time, and I said this before, Dave, we've said like, oh, Hitchin, though, he wasn't able to buy X players because, you know, Levy didn't give him the money. It's like, but maybe that could be true. But at the same time, look at the big spendings that Hitchin has made that were big expenditures, like the 60 million on Ndombele, the 40 million on Lo Celso, even the small ones like the 15 million on Joe Rodon and the 12 million or whatever it was on Jack Clark. You're kind of looking at Steve Hitchin and you're like, I don't really trust that guy with my money. I wouldn't when we've been asking for blank checks from Daniel Levy. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I want blank checks, but I don't want to give those blank checks to Steve Hitchin. Now I feel like it's a symbiotic relationship for me between the two, where Levy makes it really toxic for any director of football. Like I said, hence why so few directors of football wanted to even work with us. But also to say that Hitchin wasn't being an absolute, I don't know, I just useless at times. It must be said, like the guy was also really hurting us and really poisoning us, and we need to just get rid of everything that he did. So we have to undo everything that he's done.
Yeah, spot on. And Sean, yourself?
Yeah, I've got nothing more to offer. The only thing I would point out is that obviously none of us really, you know, intimately know the relationships between any of the three roles, Levy, Hitchin, and any of those managers, or Paratici and those managers. You know, and there's rumors that some managers, like there was the idea sort of posited that Ndombele was actually Pochettino's first choice. So there must be, if there's truth to that, there must be some level of recommendations coming from the manager up to the Hitchins, and then, you know, but who knows, right? But either way, I totally agree with what you're saying. You know, and I think, Jack, you absolutely nailed it on the head with that phrase. You know, we do want Levy to write blank checks, but it depends who they go to, right? And if Hitchin is the guy who's you know, filling them out, then it's usually ended up badly. So, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, spot on. Sean, anything else you want to talk about, my man?
Nah, I'm good. I just wanted to come on and say hello, and I know that Brian's on in the background, and he's going to come on and talk about some Bob Spur stuff. So I'm gonna back down and say goodnight to everybody, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday.
No, before you go, where can people find you? I want to put your channel into the chat, my man. Plug it.
Oh, thanks, mate. It's just Spurs Talk Show, guys. So yeah, all one word, and at Spurs Talk Show on Twitter. But you can also find me most of the time on here, or I'm getting around the channels on YouTube quite a lot. But Spurs Talk Show is where I call home. Thanks, boys. I'll see you guys on
Big
Wednesday.
up, Sean. It was a
Jack,
pleasure.
hopefully I'll have a new TV, so I won't make any more mistakes.
Looking forward to Wednesday with you, my man.
Cheers.
Pleasure speaking with you. Honestly, the time flew by, especially considering this is the end of the show. I would say that the time did fly by. So well done, brother. And we'll be catching you Wednesday.
Cheers, fellas. Take care. Come on, you Spurs.
Sean.
Big up, Sean.
And everybody, the link for Sean's channel is in the chat here. Please do get over there and show the guy some love and support. But big up, Sean. Really appreciate his time there this evening. But guys, we are down to our last guest of the evening. He is going to give you a Bob Spur update. I don't even know what it is. I'm actually, hopefully it is good news. And it's Brian Daigle from Tottenham on tour. But just quickly, guys, before we do end off, because we will be ending off shortly, if you have enjoyed the show, feel free to get your super chats in. Make sure you have smashed that like button as well and smash that subscribe button if you are new. Just quickly, William Kelly says the big problem has always been Joe Lewis and his lack of investment and interest in the great club. Well, look, we'll get on the man himself.
He went for the fourth answer.
Diego, you want to ask William Kelly super chat here to start with?
Well, yeah. I mean, what a subject to start me on.
He went for the fourth answer, Dave. He went for the fourth answer, not Levy Hitchin or the managers. He went for Joe Lewis.
Listen, Joe Lewis is by no means scot-free in all of this. The reason he gets away with it to a certain extent is he's never there. He's never there. He doesn't come out on media and say things that doesn't happen. He is like a silent partner.
He forgets he owns the football club sometimes, actually.
Exactly. It's like he's hardly ever there. He doesn't come out and give press conferences. He doesn't do interviews. He doesn't in the television media or written media. So he's kind of not the forgotten man. We all know he's there somewhere, but it's water off the duck's back to him. It's water. By no means is he definitely doesn't get away scot-free. But it's like saying to Stevie Wonder, read this book. You know what I mean? It's pointless. It's like giving a dog a Sudoku. What's the point? But he doesn't get away scot-free. So yeah, that's my answer to the great man William Kelly's question. So before we get into these things, I need to give a Bob Spur update, and it's a delayed one, and I'm going to tell you why. So Tuesday and Wednesday, he was saying that he was struggling breathing, and the doctors were like, this is normal. Obviously, they'd reversed the tracheotomy. They started taking him off the ventilator. They started doing rehab on him, quite extensive rehab. So they were kind of like, it's just bound to happen because he's been out for so long. This is like, maybe we're taking him too fast, so we're going to slow it down. Wednesday and Thursday, he started saying it a bit more. And again, we just thought it was that. And then they had to put him back on the ventilator on Thursday, not the coma one, but on, when they put it on your nose. Yeah. And then on Friday, about 2 hours before we came on your channel, he sent a message to me, Kim, and Tammy, saying they're putting me back in the coma. Now, a lot of this time, you've got to remember, Bob's been under a lot of drugs. He may hear things that Kim immediately phoned the doctors, and it was true. So basically, what had happened is his oxygen levels had shot up to 65 again. It looked like this bacterial infection that we told you they found and thought was the root cause of why things weren't improving. It may have spread elsewhere, and they were like, okay, so under medical advice and Bob's agreement, they put him back in the medically induced coma. We knew this on Friday. We just didn't want to say anything on Friday before we had more information we could give. So they did blood works on him, and they found he's got a bacterial and a fungal infection. So they put him on the strongest of antibiotics. I think it was on 4 different types. And on Saturday and Sunday, there wasn't really an update. And then we got to today, and I was like, okay, I'm doing my stream tonight, I think it's time that we say to people, just because people have started saying, "Where's Bob? Haven't seen him in comments," or "How is he?" So Kim, Tammy, and I decided, I did it on Tottenham on tour earlier. So he'd been in the medically induced coma. He's still in there, but we got an update tonight that his oxygen has gone down from 70 to 45 dependency, and the antibiotics they've given him are working, and the markers are coming down drastically. His blood pressure went very low. That's now going back up.
Wow.
So at the moment, what was a negative is now, right now, more of a positive, because as we know, it's a lot easier for Bob to fight these things when he's asleep and his body can give it its full attention. When he was awake, obviously he was talking again or speaking, he was breathing. There was a lot of effort on his body to do a lot of things. So we kept it quiet because obviously we didn't want to alarm people straight away. Oh, he's in a coma? He's still in the coma, but he is responding incredibly well to everything. We don't know how long he's going to be in this one. They said till they can fight this. So it's not a good thing to know, and I have to stress this. He hasn't got COVID. He hasn't got pneumonia. It's just this bacterial infection, which could have spread. I mean, they thought they isolated it, but you never know until it flares up again. If it, like, I hate to say it like this, like, you know, cancer can spread. Obviously, they can't. They monitored where they saw it, but there could have been like a sleeping cell, so to speak, that may have woken up when Bob started exerting himself. So at the moment, just to wrap it up so people know, he's back in the coma on doctor's advice and his agreement. They did tests to see that he had a fungal and bacterial infection. He's on all the antibiotics to try and keep the shit out of it. His oxygen dependency on the ventilator was at 70, I believe. It's now at 45. And the markers to show how high the infection is getting lower and lower. So he's responding well to treatment. So, like I said, it's the best thing for him. Me, Kim, and Tammy just wanted to keep this under wraps until we could give information like this. And for the last few days, it had been the update is there is no update. But that's where we are with Bob. I did it on Tottenham on tour earlier, but I wanted, before we started talking Tottenham, to give the Harris Army, who have been, or everyone's been an incredible support to him, but we all know how close he is with everyone on this channel and people in the chat. And it was only right that I came on before we started talking Tottenham and let your followers know. So that's where we're at right now with Bob Spur.
Well, I would say despite that being like a bit of a hiccup, it sounds like actually, guys, to a degree, a much positive news, because they're finding out exactly what's been maybe causing the problems. And with that new antibacterial medication, like Brian was saying, that they're taking seems to be really working right away, which is good signs as well. So despite him maybe taking that bit of a hiccup, it seems like it's actually a good kind of, you know, like a hiccup where he's actually now, they know exactly what he needs to do to get better, which I think is good news. Good news.
No, it is.
Exactly. Listen, we got told during this time that it's not going to be because he's awake and responding well. He's going to just go like that. There's going to be peaks and troughs, so to speak. Yeah. I just think the way he was responding so quickly, I think when we thought a couple of steps backwards, maybe they were overworking him and he needs a few days rest, and then slowly, not as drastic as what happened. But listen, like you said, Jack, I think you said it perfectly. Sometimes if they need to do this to just wipe everything out and say, right, we got it, then that's the step forward. So what is a negative step could actually end up being the most positive steps of all.
It seems like a lot of progress, actually, somehow.
Yeah.
Even though despite it being really hard, obviously, for Bob and for everyone else as well, but it seems like it's actually made a lot of progress at the same time, which is beautiful to hear, everybody.
No, look, you know, he's in the right place as well, like especially for them finding out these things where they can treat him straight away, you know. So look, it's maybe two steps backward and another step forward, but you know, at the end of the day, big up Bob, and you know, wish you all the best on your recovery, my man. Big yourself up.
Big up.
But look, we'll let William Kelly maybe lighten the mood here, and Brian, he says Lewis is a world champion of hide and seek.
Oh, without a doubt. It's like Where's Wally, but you're just doing it with the big blue sea. It's very hard to find him. It's like I want to have a life-size game of Battleship, and the hunt is just to find his coordinates. Yeah, like I said at the beginning, he doesn't get away scot-free from this. It's just the fact that it's kind of the best terminology I can use is out of sight, out of mind. And you've got to remember now, I don't want to make this about Levy. Like I said, I'm done making my whole thing about Levy. What you got to remember is when Levy comes onto that and does that video last season and says stuff, and then it turns out not to be true, that's when he looks stupid. At least Lewis doesn't come out and say those things.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? That's the kind of thing. That's where the frustration comes. Like I said, Lewis never is scot-free in all this. This isn't all 100% Levy. But what doesn't do Levy is when he says things and then, it doesn't happen, or the same old thing just keeps repeating itself. Whereas Lewis just doesn't say anything. So you can't really say, well, Lewis said this is going to happen or that's going to happen. And when it doesn't happen, so that's where I think he gets a lighter media attention, or us streamers, or even people in the chat. There are a lot of people that have always said Lewis is fundamentally the problem, but obviously when you've got no rock hard evidence or a smoking gun, so to speak, it's hard to go for him, as opposed to someone that's very close to home.
Yeah,
absolutely. Really like that. He is the hide and go seek champion, William. All I can tell you is I feel like when the Champions League final was even happening, people are saying he didn't make the trip. I just feel like he wasn't even told it was happening. I don't even know if he knew it was actually even going on, in the first place. Sometimes I actually think he is actually, just reminded maybe once or twice a year that he actually, in fact, owns a football club. But William Kelly, big yourself up. But Brian, it's kind of been tossed around between maybe Harry Kane and Romero for man of the match from the Brighton fixture. I've gone for Romero for me personally, mostly because he looked like he was in his element. Brian, I mean, what are your thoughts on the guy?
Jack, I'm completely with you. Completely with you. And the reason I say that, and I mentioned it before, I can't remember if it was both of you that were on Sean's show last night. But when you were talking, I heard quite a bit of it. And when you were talking about, and Sean was mentioning, have you seen a more dominating performance from a defender? The only two I can remember was my boy Jan Vertonghen against Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League, when he set up Son for that volley and scored that goal and did the Superman thing at Wembley. And obviously the game that Ledley King made that tackle against Iron Robben. But they are the two that I can think of. And that's putting him in pretty high esteem. And thinking that he came back from an injury, what I love about this guy is, and I've watched it even when I was live, when I was at the games, he makes the hardest things look so simple. He makes it look like just getting out of bed in the morning. And no matter what happens, he always seems to be in acres of space. I think coming back from that performance, and I was saying, I don't know if I'd start him in this game. It's a good game to bring him on, but maybe bring him on near the end of the Brighton game. But then I thought, wait a minute, if it goes to extra time and penalties, you're kind of defeating the object. But boy, my God, I mean, I agree with David that potentially we've got one of the best central defenders in world football. I think in the league right now, the only one, when Romero's back to being the top man that he is, I think only Van Dijk is on any kind of par with him. This guy, I mean, and the thing is, as well,
do you know what's funny? I said this back in the summer and everybody laughed at me.
Well, do you know what? I was about to mention you, and also I will always remember Bob Spur was the one, and Bob Spur was saying, oh my God, every time it was getting close to this deal, he kept saying, I've ordered a load of Kleenex. I think he was looking for a sponsorship deal with Kleenex. But it was you two that kept saying it, and I came on saying, listen, I don't know a lot about him, but if you get Serie A Defender of the Year, you're no mug. You're no mug. And you know what? He's come in and he is just my pleasure, Bryce, mate. I spoke to him earlier. Top man.
Legend.
So yeah, this guy is just, and I think was I right in here in 23 is all he is.
Yeah, he's 23, maybe just turned 24.
It's
turned 24, I think, as well.
It does that, and do you know what, Paul? He may lack a bit of pace, but what I love about him is he's kind of like Teddy Sheringham, who lacked pace, but his footballing brain and awareness and anticipation is outstanding, and I think that gets him out of that pace part. And also, I think as well, that pace issue would be a problem if it was a back four and he made an error. But seeing that it's a back five or a back three, I think that kind of balances out his lack of pace. But if there is one thing, it would be his lack of pace. And also, I think I love his aggression. Love it. But this league, he's going to have to watch it, because if you make a mistake, you get punished. But I mean,
great defenders don't rely on their pace, lads. Great defenders always put themselves in the right position. Don't need the pace.
That's it. I mean, you look at it. There's people like Rio Ferdinand and Ledley King that did, but then, and I hate to mention this guy because he's ex-filth, Tony Adams. Tony Adams was not one for pace. Gary Pallister. I don't think Vidic was.
Martini, none of them had pace.
I think Vidic was blessed with pace. I think he could run, but I don't think he was blessed with pace. And you know what? And as you know, I talk a lot about him. I think Sanchez alongside him counteracts that pace. I think Sanchez, who I think has been brilliant in his place, actually had another great game against Brighton, and is starting to get a little bit more respect. A lot more credit than he had been getting recently. But Romero is just, you know what, David and Bob Spur were the two that were going waxing lyrical about these two, about Romero.
And Jack, Jack was too.
Sorry, do you know what it was? It's because when I ever see Jack, I think Vlahovic. So I apologise, Jack. I apologise, brother. So Jack as well. I mean, this guy is just unbelievable. And to think this is his first season, to think that's the kind of performance he puts in after a serious hamstring injury.
Yeah, what a comeback.
It was just incredible.
It looked like he was looking like he was having too much fun out there. It looked like it was easy for him. It looked like he was in his element. But maybe just to make David happy as well, Brian Daigle, maybe talk about the other man of the match contendant. Harry Kane opened it up with that goal. I mean, what a goal to open up the tone, to set the tone of the game. What did you make of that opening goal?
Just give me the two words, he's back. That's all I want to hear.
So no, I mean, I'm gonna, and David will know. David and me had a lot of talk up privately or chats on streams where obviously I went in very, 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 very hard on Kane, and it's only because I love him so much and because of the behaviour of the club, him and whatever. And then when I saw him live at those first games that I went to under Nuno, he just looked, like I said, not impressed at all. But ever since that Liverpool tackle, where he should have been sent off or shouldn't, whatever way you look at it, you saw a hunger in him. You saw a passion in him. You saw Harry Kane committed again and doing everything in his power. And he was absolutely phenomenal. What game was it where we were watching and he ran the show? I can't remember what game. It was recently. We won a game. And
Chelsea second half at one stage. He ran the show.
Leicester. When I was at the game, Harry Kane was unbelievable. And not only that, the bit I loved about him is when we scored the third goal and the crowd went mad, obviously everyone ran over. The kickoff after that third goal, I think they only just kicked off. It was time and the first thing he done was run straight back over, you were like, okay, he's back in the game mentally. He's buying into Conte. Conte is now loving him, and he is now loving Conte. Listen, Harry Kane is a superstar, and I love him to death. And I gave him a hard time. And without a doubt, Dave, and I'm going to do it live on your channel, you are right. He is back, or he has been back for a while. When I give a player a stick, it's because I feel he deserves it. But as soon as he starts, or that player starts doing it, I will completely stand up and say, do you know what? Bad to back him. And then I thought about it more. Obviously, last Thursday we did our mental health show on Tottenham on Tour. And then it got me thinking, obviously, that these players go through everything as well. It's not just us people. Footballers go through it as well. But we just think because they're on 200 grand a week, they have the life of Riley. They should be over the moon, ecstatic. And obviously, Harry Kane's mental state hadn't been right since that statement and that interview with Neville. And he wanted someone to put him back on the map and that will match his ambitions and show him, stick with me and I'll get you somewhere. And that's what's happening with Conte. It was a wonderful performance. And do you know what I put on? What I enjoyed more than that first goal was him just running in to get that tap in for the second. It just showed a commitment, a dedication, a will to get those goals again. I mean, him scoring goals like that. I remember him doing it against Burnley a couple of years ago. It's food and drink for him. Outside the box, that amount of room, he'll do it every single time. But Bobby Kane, my brother from Toronto, so yeah, seeing that passion and hunger for him to get that second goal was just absolutely incredible. And I think this second half of the season, we're going to see the Harry Kane that we know and love every single game. I think right now he is in deadly form. And the thing I love about Harry Kane, and I was showing it to Brian Ireland, if you watch a YouTube compilation of all his goals for Spurs, and I've said it before, I've never seen a striker in world football hit the side netting so often.
Yeah.
Now, you know, when you take a penalty, if you hit the side netting, they say the keeper can't get it. Go back and watch a compilation of his goals. I think over 50% of them side netting. He's incredible. And it's happy. I'm just so happy to see him happy because we're the ones that will benefit from it.
Yeah.
No,
just quickly, Bryce, you are wrong. And I'm sticking by my guns on this one. Everyone else was wrong about Harry Kane. People were calling for him to be dropped, be sold. We're not Harry Kane FC, this, that, and the other. And I'm sticking to my guns. Bryce, you were wrong. But sorry. Moondog, he says, I feel another tattoo coming on, Mr. Daigle.
What? I haven't put any tattoo bets on. What tattoo am I having done?
He's predicting the next one, I guess. He's predicting the next one.
I don't know what. I've learned my lesson.
You sure there's no more going on, Brian?
With me, never say never. Never say never. I might do something stupid and put it on the line. Who knows?
Just don't let anyone talk you into it. Just don't.
Mate, that was my own stupid saying. I can't believe I said it live on We Are Tottenham TV. And then as soon as it was getting closer, I was just like, oh, here we go. Here we go. And then, as we know, I actually got the 100K tattooed on it as well.
Oh, nice.
That was my own decision, which was my own decision. I said, you know what, to celebrate it, I got the 100K. So it's only small. I'm going to get every big milestone they hit. So the next one will be 250.
There you go.
I love it. But look,
Beautiful.
Brian, we're going to wrap it up. Now. It's been a long one, but my man, where can people find you?
They can find me at Tottenham on Tour, and we're on a huge push right now. We're 110 away from 4,000.
Come on.
So that's the next push we're on. The support has been incredible, absolutely phenomenal, and we're blown away by it. And then obviously loving doing the collaboration. Jesus Christ, collaborations with you two. Obviously, it was on your channel last week. Loved it, absolutely loved it. Looking forward to this week's one on Tottenham on Tour. And yeah, that's where they can find us. Me, Brian Ireland, Adam Clark, and I almost went a stream without doing it. And everybody, it's Danny Kiriakou. It's Danny Kiriakou. So that's where they can find the four of us.
Beautiful.
And there it is, the link in the description, guys, if anyone does want to get across and smash that subscribe button.
I forgot one thing I had to say. I cannot wait because it's been a long time coming. On Saturday, I will be meeting the great man himself.
Sunday.
So that's how excited I am. I'm not going to go to sleep. You, Philip Brady, Dermot, and Ollie, yeah?
Ollie, and one of my good mates as well, yeah.
Cannot wait, mate. Listen, I'm going to have to, I've said for Tottenham on tour, David, we're going to have to do it. You know, in those romantic movies when people are running in the fields together in slow motion, that's what we're going to be doing on Tottenham High Road. I cannot wait, my man. It's been way too long. And it's something I can't wait. It's been a long time coming. And then, Jack, we've got to sort it out in Toronto or New York. But David,
Absolutely.
Ollie, Phil Brady, your mate, I cannot wait for Sunday.
No, it's going to be good. I can't wait to meet so many people, especially you, Daniel. It's been long overdue, you know. So we'll definitely have a good hug, and we'll have a glass of Coke together. That's for sure, my man.
100% looking forward to it, brother.
Bottom do it says Brian, one line for Bentancur, and then he is off at 6 a.m. here in India. Wow, big up, my man. Thank you so much.
So do you know what? Like I said, when we were on your show, when we signed him, out of the two, I knew absolutely nothing about him. So I was saying I didn't want to comment because now the debut he had when he came on was very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. But people have been saying, do you start him against Southampton? And I actually said no. And the reason I said no is because he's been away on international duty. He came back. It's very good to have a 20-minute great debut when you're 3-1 up and you're doing that. And I just think, don't get me wrong, once he's 100% fit and settled, he starts number one, no doubt. But for me, I think it's more important for him to play against Wolves 90 minutes. So I'd like to see him on Southampton, where he's had a few more days with the lads, get used to the training ground, and then start with whoever starts in midfield. And then if we're ahead and we need to shut it down, you bring him on and say, right, go in, shut it down, do what you did against Brighton, give him another good cameo to get more confidence, let him ease, and then from then you start him, because it's all good. Like we said, you can judge a player in 20 minutes, go, oh, look at him, he's amazing. But we need to start, like we did with Brian Hill against the first Europa League conference game he played. We're like, oh my God, he's brilliant, he's the saviour. We need to take our time and not rush these players. So do I think he's going to be a permanent fixture in the first midfielder? 100%. I just think right now, for the first couple of weeks, just take it easy with him. But I was very, very impressed with what I saw.
Now,
there you are.
There you are, the bottom do, and now you can go. Now you can go to bed and rest, or else off to work. I don't know what it is you're doing now with 6 a.m. in the morning, but my man, off you go. But look, guys, we are going to end it there. I want to say a massive thank you. Actually, sorry, quickly, Jack. Jack, where can people find you, my man? How dare I?
It's all right, Dave. People, just quickly, they can find me on the second channel, flatcapeurotalk. So close to 1,000, everybody. Nearly, I think, almost like something a bit more than like 60 away, I believe. But on flatcapeurotalk, just did a stream with Darius today, kind of spoke about our kind of mid-season sort of predictions. We looked at our original predictions of all of Europe's top 5 leagues, kind of broke down, maybe where we went wrong with our predictions, and kind of just spoke about maybe what, maybe we haven't been talking about in each league, and then kind of made predictions for how it all ends, a bit of Premier League, bit of Serie A, bit of Bundesliga. I'll do a few more things, regarding maybe Kulusevski and Bentancur, then move on to a few more scout report and highlight reactions, lots of stuff for the second channel, really trying to beef up the content there, and really just want to say massive appreciation for all the support that I've already received so far. So everybody head on over to the second channel, flatcapeurotalk, please.
No, everybody, there it is. The link here is in the chat. Everybody, please do get over there and check out the Flat Cap Euro Talk, guys. 62 away from 1,000. So, guys, if you get over there and, knock a few off that'd be absolutely awesome. But I want to say a massive thank you to Jack for your time this evening, my man. I want to say a massive thank you to all the guests who have come on and helped make these fan shows. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody for tuning in. I really, really do appreciate it. A massive thank you to everybody who has helped us with the super chats. It's a massive, massive help towards myself and Jack. And you have no idea how much it really, really does help us out on the YouTube journey and help us put more and more time into the content. So really do appreciate that. Just quickly, everybody, if you do want a podcast to watch maybe over the next day or two and you missed it, get over to the one we done on We Are Tottenham TV earlier, the Tottenham Hour. It's going to be a new podcast. It's once a week. It's going to be absolutely awesome. kicked off today. I thought it was a very good start. So everybody, please do get over there and check that out. But as always, come on, you Spurs. Harry Kane is back, baby. In Conte we trust.
In Conte we trust.